And now, live to report on Week 14, here are your hosts for the Outside Blitz, the fabulous Scotty Fraytown, the Bootleg Bettor, and the Cannonball, Alex Steele.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Outside Blitz. I am your host, the fabulous one, Scotty Fraytown, along with my co-hosts. First of all, we're hailing from the wonderful, beautiful, very snowy Traverse City, up there in Steel Twin Studio. The Cannonball, Alex Steele. Alex, how you holding up over there in the blizzard?
Well, you know what? As Ricky Morton once told me, man, the snow's so heavy, you got to climb a tree, take a shit. So, honest to God, we're in the car, I'm driving him to the airport. He tells me about going to Minnesota. That line has stuck with me. Like, if you could tell me, pick one moment from that trip where you'll remember for the rest of your life, it's that line. But it's not quite that bad, but it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's very cold over here in Michigan. And to my left, joining me for the first time in a couple of weeks, the man, the myth, the legend, the king of verbal sting, the one, the only, who better to be than the Bootleg Bettor? Boots, welcome back to the show.
Drop it.
It was all a dream. Then I woke up to this. Man, these Thanksgiving games straight had me pissed. Why should I interrupt my bountiful feast to watch what the Cowboys did to the Chiefs before Andy, Alex, and Pat? Are they back to that spot? The Cowboys cracked them and flattened them. They call that a spatchcock. I'm tired of watching these games on Amazon Prime. The Broncos had the horsepower to cross the finish line. If I don't believe in the Chargers, am I a Herbert hater? And I ain't about to waste a bar to talk about the Raiders. Still got the juice, Fraytown, count G's. I'm the Bootleg Bettor that you can't beat me. R.I.P. Reginald Jones. I love you, Michigan. Thank you.
Word.
Is in the house. And folks, hey,
Yeah.
listen. Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yeah, I hope everybody. Boots, what'd you do for Thanksgiving? Did you have a good one?
It was a great.
Yeah.
It was real quiet, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how she got that duct tape off her mouth. Terrible. They ripped half her mustache off.
Oh, no.
You're right. You talk about being pissed off.
Oh, man.
I sure was.
My Lord.
We had a heartwarming Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Could have been the acid reflux, though.
Mm-hmm. I hear that.
We had a good one, man.
Yeah.
We smoked on a turkey breast. Made a full turkey in the oven. They like both. They want to go traditional, but then also, hey Scott, go
Have a little something.
smoke something out. I said, okay, it's fine. And we did the honey maple glazed carrots, and we
Right.
did the mashed potatoes, and we did the stuffing. A lot of traditional stuff. We had the corn casserole out there and the green bean casserole. So we had the good stuff. The corn casserole is delicious. My mother-in-law makes it.
Corn casserole?
Yeah,
Never heard of it.
Dude,
I've heard
good.
of corn. What's it called? Oh, she's never Go back. Go ahead.
But the corn
I'll think of
casserole,
it.
my mother-in-law makes it. In the morning, we had cinnamon rolls in the morning to kick off the day. Had a few beers. It was nice. I started drinking pretty early and just kind of
pretty late too.
Yeah, went right through the games.
Right.
Watching those games. Enjoyed some beer. Had a nice little holiday. So I mean, it was fantastic. Next up, we're a few weeks away from Christmas. I think we're 21 days away from Christmas, 22 days, something like that. So
I believe it's 21, sir.
21 days. So we got Christmas right around the corner. We got Christmas games coming. So everybody's ready for that. I can't believe we only have 5 weeks left in the NFL season. That is a baffling thing to me that we only have 5 weeks left. This is crazy. Yeah, I mean, here we are.
Yeah, we are at the point now where we love around here to talk about nut cutting time.
And
A lot of thinkers swim.
yep, the playoff picture is starting to take shape, but then out of nowhere, you've got some teams that have emerged weirdly in the playoff picture. For example,
Scallop corn.
That's what I have never heard of scallop corn.
Neither had I.
Jeez,
Well, we started either.
you were just like, oh, this is all right. I can deal with it.
Yeah, how are the Jacksonville Jaguars the number 3 seed in the AFC right now?
Because they're in a bad division. I mean, we've got
Yeah.
there's all kinds of playoff implications. We'll talk about the playoff picture right after we get through these. Let's talk about these scores from Week 13 in the NFL. Starting out with our Thanksgiving game, Packers versus Lions. The Packers win this game 31-24 in, I mean, let's be honest, dominant fashion. Jordan Love, 18 for 30, 234 yards, 4 touchdowns on the day. Josh Jacobs, 17 carries for 83 yards. The hero of the day for the Packers was Dontavion Wicks, 6 receptions, 94 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had a game-winning catch. Christian Watson, 4 receptions for 80 yards and a touchdown. Luke
He's
Musgrave,
back.
Yep, and then Romeo Doubs, 4 for 20 and a touchdown. Look, this was a wild one. As for the Lions, Jared Goff, 20 for 26, 256 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 sacks. Jahmyr Gibbs, 20 carries for 68 yards. David Montgomery had 8 for 32 and a touchdown. Jamison Williams, a big day after Amon-Ra St. Brown goes down in this game. Jamison Williams, 7 receptions for 144 and a touchdown. Tom Kennedy, the weird, exactly. Yeah, the out of nowhere tight end, 4 receptions for 36. Isaac Tesla gets 2 for 35 and a touchdown. And the Lions dropped this one. As for Amon-Ra St. Brown, he suffers an ankle injury in this game. It was very early in this game. He only was targeted twice. He 0 for 2 being targeted, though, and he doesn't get a single catch. He's listed as questionable for Thursday Night Football this upcoming week against the Cowboys.
Ooh, so that's a problem.
If the Lions are in trouble. And then before this game happened, just before this game, Lions center Frank Ragnow, we talked about it last show. He declared that he was coming back out of retirement for Detroit. Well, just after this game on Friday, it was declared that he failed his physical and he will not be able to come out of retirement to play for the Lions. Exactly. Frank Ragnow, I mean, we won't be seeing him this year. The Lions are in trouble here, guys. They're 7-5 right now. They're still firmly in the playoff picture. Well, they're just on the outside. They're on the bubble, I guess you could say. But, I mean, this is getting ugly real quick for Detroit.
Yep, it's getting late early in the 3-1-3. And, you know, I said that this was a game they had to win. The Detroit Lions had to win this game after getting trounced by the Eagles and barely escaping the New York Giants. But yeah. I knew that game told me, the Giants game told me that there was trouble, and it was confirmed here. Now, granted, Detroit played very well in this football game. I mean, it's a divisional game. They always hit different. So I can't, but really it's starting to look more and more like that game against the Commanders was a total fluke, that Dan Campbell, as we've said on this show multiple times, he's not a football guy. Like, he's not an X's and O's, draft him guy. He tried his hand at calling plays. It doesn't seem to be working out. And, this is an offense that you hit very, very hard with that dual threat of David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. And it makes sense that Gibbs is the bell cow back here. But, I mean, when they had shared carries, they were a pretty formidable duo. And now David Montgomery is not taking nearly as many snaps. Boots, what do you think about this?
Well, here's what I think. First of all, I got to say, if you got a mouse in your pocket, what's all this weed? I have always been on Dan Campbell's side, said he was a football guy. I don't care about X's and O's. That does not matter to me. What matters to me are W's and L's, period. I don't care about anything else. You get the guys to play for you, and they win the game, or they don't, and they lose the game, period. I don't care about X's and O's. But I will say this. The Dan Campbell play calling experience has been a mixed bag, right? Some things have worked, some things haven't. Things that are missing from the offense, the trick plays, the cute stuff. I'm tired of these shotgun handoffs to Jahmyr Gibbs, man. Get under center, turn around, hand it to him, and give him a little momentum, either up the gut or off tackle, period. I hate shotgun handoff. They're so stupid. But with all that being said, the Packers played a really good game here, and they were on. Dontavian Wicks out of Virginia just continued to beat Detroit time and time again. It's like they had everybody else covered and everything else was set. And then Dontavian Wicks, here's a big catch.
Yep.
You know, a big time touchdown catch. That touchdown catch was sick. I got to be honest. And Jordan Love has played very well all season long. Has not turned the ball over.
Yeah,
Really.
turnovers have been low for him this year.
Yeah.
And
They're low for the Packers overall. They've only got 7 turnovers all season.
What's interesting about Jordan Love is there was a lull at one point in the season, but he still wasn't turning the ball over.
Exactly.
He still was playing, mistake-free football.
Right.
It wasn't.
He didn't put you in a bad spot.
Yeah.
But he wasn't overly.
He wasn't an overachiever. At that
Exactly.
point. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
So he's been a little, iffy from time to time, but you can't say he's just been, turning the ball over, losing every single time.
Here's the number that's concerning to me is I want to talk about this because I think it's worth noting. 4th down efficiency for Detroit. This is I believe we're talking about 7 4th down conversions in a row that they have failed to get. Dan Campbell, he went for it twice in this one, 5 times in the Giants game, lost all 5 of those with the Giants, lost out on 2 over here.
I thought those 5 were against the Eagles. I could be wrong.
Yeah, they might have been against the Eagles.
But because I remember, he went for it on 4th down a lot against Philadelphia, and he lost.
Well,
Well, the weather, right? Maybe played a role in the Philly game, right? Maybe you don't want to send Jake Bates out there on the windy, rainy kind of day. Maybe just let's take a shot here, see what we can get. But if it ain't working, hey, field goal. Necessary field goals don't beat you.
Yeah.
Right. Sometimes you do need to kick a field goal to maybe extend the lead. Hey, let's just get something on the board and get the momentum going, and maybe the defense will respond. Maybe we get a turnover, right? And then we get something else going. Speaking of turnover, I was thinking about this today. What happens when you turn the ball over? This isn't an asshole. Hey, I know more than you. This isn't that type of question. What happens when you turn the ball over?
What's that?
The other team gets the ball.
Well, yeah.
Right? I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just saying,
No.
he gets the ball. So when you lose possession of the ball, the other team, you're giving that to them.
Yeah.
And now you're in a position. Think about the Tennessee Titans. Think about the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
Lead the league in turnover differential
right now.
Negative, right?
Yep.
The Bears, they're plus 17.
Mm-hmm.
And look at where the Bears are. Look at where the Vikings are.
Exactly.
Right? Turnovers are huge in the game. You will lose more games when you lose the turnover battle than you will win.
Especially when you do it on downs,
right?
Or you're doing it in your own territory, even
right.
worse. That's problematic too. And we've seen that more often than not. Dan Campbell, sometimes I just feel like he's got more guts than brains sometimes. And
that could be it.
Yeah,
that's possible.
You recall, a few years ago, we were talking about fake punts at their own 25-yard line. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
And if he got it, so he was praised as a world beater. But if he misses it, we're having a completely different conversation about Dan Campbell. He's getting crucified.
Of course, the way he live and die with whatever. Right? Live by it, die by it. And that's just how it's been. And it doesn't always go your way. And it hasn't been going the Detroit Lions' way. So maybe a different way needs to be implemented.
Yeah, and the Lions right now, they seem to be struggling. They giving up sacks. They gave up 3 sacks in this game. That offensive line could not stop anything. I felt like Rashawn Gary was just living in the Lions' backfield.
It didn't help that they had a starting center that was starting in place of Graham Glasgow. I've never been a fan of Graham Glasgow, but this other kid, I'm not sure who. I don't quite remember. I don't recall his name. But, at this point, it's like, the offensive line was a sev for the defense. Defense played their tails off. If there's anybody that deserves any credit this season, it's the new defensive coordinator. Oh, my God, I'm having such a hard time with these names. I'm so sorry.
Kelvin
Shepard, yeah. Why was I thinking like Sharon Morris? Sharon Morris is the head coach of Michigan. But Kelvin Shepard, the defensive coordinator, it should be credited for some of the defenses that he's dialed up and just getting his guys motivated to play. So, but if the offense isn't clicking and then not playing complementary football, you're behind the 8 ball.
Here's another thing about the defense, though. They're not getting to the quarterback. Let me ask you this.
I was just about to say Aiden Hutchinson. We're talking about underperforming Superman.
Yeah,
brother.
Listen, I was telling other, not you people, I was telling other people this all day today. Aiden Hutchinson is the other guy.
Yeah.
Myles Garrett is the guy. Max Crosby, the guy.
Yeah.
Will Anderson Jr., the guy.
Max Crosby,
right?
the guy.
Aiden Hutchinson, I'm thinking he's the other guy.
Yeah, he needs a complimentary guy.
Definitely does.
And the thing
he's not the guy that's going to beat double teams consistently and get to the quarterback all the time. Again, Myles Garrett.
See it all the time.
Right.
And one thing that kind of gets me about the Aiden Hutchinson situation.
I love his motor and I love the way he plays, but at this point, maybe it's the injury, right? But he comes across as the other guy.
Hutchinson, I like the way he plays, and I think you had for a while, and I hate to make a Vikings comparison, but it's the best I know here. Jared Allen, and on the other side you had Everson Griffin, and then you had Everson Griffin, and you had Danielle Hunter, and one was the guy for a while, and one was the other guy. Danielle Hunter was the other guy for a little while. Then Danielle Hunter stepped up, and they got rid of Everson Griffin, and then Robinson was the other guy, right? Brian Robinson, he was the other guy, and Danielle Hunter was the guy. Yeah. So Hutchinson, we've been talking, and Alex, this is to your credit. You've been talking about how you guys needed another edge rusher all offseason. You were talking about it since the draft, since free agency. You were talking about how you guys needed a true opposite end edge rusher. I talked about it the last 2 shows. I knew the Lions were in trouble at the edge. When they're putting Ali McNeil on the edge, he's not an edge rusher. No. He's a space-eating defensive tackle. He is not an edge rusher, and you can't stick him on the edge and assume things are going to go better for you. I'm sorry, it's just not going to work.
A rotating cast of characters playing in that spot. Pascal, Davenport,
Branch,
right? Hassanin. Who's the other
Barnes.
guy? And the other defensive end,
Muhammad.
Yep. Yeah, right. So there's been a rotating cast of characters, and nobody has really stuck.
Yeah, and Muhammad looked like for a minute like he was going to stick, and then for a minute you had Davenport for a minute before he got hurt again. It's just an ongoing thing here for Detroit. I don't understand what the malfunction is about. Get another edge rusher.
And it's like, next man up. I mean, I saw something on Facebook. Somebody tweeted something, but it's very relevant. The era of true grit, all grit is over. Yeah. I mean, it's time to move up, to evolve to the next level. We got to a point where grit, got us out of the doldrums of the Quinn Tricia era and the Matt Millen era. It's time for us to evolve to the next level, but you got to make the right decisions to make that happen. And with Brad Holmes' track record at drafting, I'm like, and his track record at the trade deadline the last 2 years. You got to show me something here, Brad. Got to show me something.
The draft records have been overall good. Questionable decisions, Tesla, Manu, right? Some of those questionable deals, but overall the drafting's been good. But man, the trade deadline stuff, free agency stuff, that's been bad.
Yeah, I have questions about a lot of the decision making when it comes to the draft, and it's, look, I understand, like, people want to say, well, oh, he's a great drafter. Oh, he's done so well. Well, I don't know about all that, because I'm in a situation where I'm going, hey, wait a minute. You drafted all these players in the top 75 because you had top 75 picks, because you traded for all these top 75 picks. A great drafter to me is like Les Snead, where a guy goes in the 5th and 6th round and he pulls up a guy like Puka Nacua. right? And that's a great drafter to me. Okay. And I look over at Brad Holmes and I go, okay, so you had 6 picks in the top 100 in the first draft, in the one draft, and you wound up getting all these players in the top 100. Well, it's like a Madden player going in and getting, trading away all their guys to go and get the top 5 picks in a draft. We've done that in franchise mode. Alex, you and I were in franchise mode together in a Madden game. That's what it is. The guy went and collected all these draft picks. That doesn't make him a bad GM, but to sit here and arbitrarily say that he was a great drafter, I'm sorry, I disagree with that wholeheartedly. I think that there are the biggest pick that I can really give him credit for is Amon-Ra St. Brown in the 4th round. That was the best pick that guy's made. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 4th round. Because if you look at all the other picks that he's made, top 10, Penei Sewell, top 12, Jahmyr Gibbs, top 10, top 11, Jameson Williams.
You still have to pick the player, though.
Yeah, come on.
You still have to pick the
at
player.
a certain point, it's like
Josh
shooting
Rosen?
fish. Yeah, it's like shooting fish in a barrel at a certain point. At a certain
you still
point,
have to identify the talent and still draft them accordingly. Sam LaPorta.
And you had a choice between Trayvon Walker and Aiden Hutchinson, and Trayvon Walker went to the Jags. So, we got the better end of that deal. But, I mean, that it's like it's Hutch, Amon-Ra, and maybe that, and that's about it.
Jahmyr Gibbs. We talking.
Jahmyr Gibbs is 3rd, yes.
I mean,
But,
come on, man.
but I'm talking.
talking.
But you're naming players that are all picked up in the top end of the draft.
Mm-hmm.
In the very top end.
How many players have been picked in the top end of the draft and were garbage?
And how many players in the top end of the draft? I mean, you get higher picks in the draft. You take a higher pick in the draft because you know that player's going to be good.
You think he's going to be good, but again, Jamarcus Russell, Josh Rosen, right? Do we have to continue?
Yeah, I mean, and it's not to say that there's not bust. It's not to say that there's not bust, but the bust rate is extremely low compared to when you go outside of the top 100 picks in the NFL draft. It's just the truth.
That's the truth that you say.
It is the truth. Nah, I mean, we'll go
plenty of Hall of Famers that went past the 1st round. Come on, bro.
Yeah, and I know there is, but the bust rate is higher picking. The bust rate is higher picking outside of the top 100. It's just the truth. It's what the statistics say. Moving into the next game, and I'll look up the actual number. The Dallas Cowboys, they beat the Kansas City Chiefs 31-28. How in the heck did this happen?
Wait, what?
Oops. What is going on with the Chiefs? Because I know that you love Patrick Mahomes II, and I can't put my finger on what the hell is happening here.
I've already said they can't run the football. They're using Patrick Mahomes to run the ball. It's not going to work. They can stop the run, but the pass game, the defense isn't quite as good as it was. Travis Kelce maybe lost a step, but they still have an opportunity. Everything's still in front of them. They just got to run the table.
Yeah. I mean, it's 6-6 right now. Do you think there is a real chance here that the Kansas City Chiefs miss the playoffs? That is what everybody seems to be talking about.
That is a darn good question. Hey, you want to know something else? They are sitting at seed number 10 in the AFC, tied with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And so they have to jump 3 spots just to get in.
The Steelers could take the AFC North this weekend, right? The Steelers could, if they beat the Ravens, they're in the driver's seat in the division. So a lot can happen. Like it all has not been said and done.
Yeah. I mean, a lot could happen here. Alex, we might want to play the schedule game with the Chiefs to see what exactly is going to be going on. Let's talk about the numbers from this game. The Cowboys, man, they've been playing great ball too. Dak Prescott, 27 for 39, 320 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did throw a pick in this game. Javonte Williams, 17 carries for 59 yards. Malik Davis, he has seized seemingly the backup role here from Jaden Blue, who we thought was going to wind up taking over as I thought he was going to wind up taking over as the starter here for Dallas. But Malik Davis has just emerged, 3 carries, 47 yards, and a touchdown. Devontae Turpin also had 3 carries for 33 yards and utilized that speed. CeeDee Lamb, we just got done talking about how George Pickens has been outperforming CeeDee Lamb all year. CeeDee Lamb, 7 receptions, 112 and a touchdown. George Pickens also had 6 for 88. Jake Ferguson, 5 for 36. And Ryan Flournoy had 3 for 34. And also Javonte Williams did catch 3 passes for 21 yards and a touchdown on his own. As for the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, 23 for 34, 261 yards, 4 touchdowns on the day. Kareem Hunt, 14 carries for 58 yards. Rashee Rice, 8 receptions, 92 yards, 2 touchdowns. Xavier Worthy, 4 for 61. Travis Kelce, 5 for 45 and a touchdown. Kareem Hunt, 1 for 22. And then Hollywood Brown had 2 receptions for 20 yards and a touchdown. Patrick Mahomes throws 4 touchdowns. They're still losing this game. I don't understand.
How?
I just don't understand it. Like, he throws 4 touchdowns and you still lose? Baffling. Baffling. Especially when Patrick Mahomes, this isn't on Mahomes. Mahomes played mistake-free football here. But the Cowboys still somehow managed to put up 31 points. Yeah. Craziness.
I would probably put this on partially the Dallas Cowboys defense.
Yeah,
they racked up 4 sacks, and a forced fumble. So, Dallas's defense over the years has been a force to be reckoned with. We talked about earlier in the season, though, where, most of their pieces, went. They disappeared, and it showed in those first few weeks of the season. I mean, we play the schedule game. They lost 2 of their first 3, tied against the Packers, had a baffling loss against the Panthers, and got drummed on by the Broncos and the Cardinals. So they've had some very weird games for this season. But somehow, some way, Brian Schottenheimer has turned this team around. We're looking at him and going, okay, CeeDee Lamb is really starting to look like CeeDee Lamb. George Pickens is now the heir apparent at wide receiver 1, showing what he was able to do in Pittsburgh and amplify it in Dallas. So, and all of a sudden, we were talking about, it's our year. Hey, them boys. Hold up. They're knocking on the door. I mean, they got a long way to go in the division. I mean, they're second place, 2 games behind the Philadelphia Eagles. I'd say it's a game and a half, because of the tie. But, they're very much in the conversation to take this, take the NFC East.
Yeah, I mean, that tie, it could hurt them, but it could help them. I mean, it really depends on how things go. Like, let's say they wind up in a situation where, they're sitting at 11-6, or at this case, 11-5-1, and another team sitting at 11-6. That tie would actually get them into the playoffs. So the tie, it's almost like having that half a point there to get you over the hump. So we could see a situation, theoretically, if the Cowboys continue on this hot streak, where they get in based on that tie, which would be crazy. But that defense, ever since the trade deadline, the Cowboys defense has been out of this world ever since getting Quinn Williams and making all the moves that they made. That defense has been crazy good. I don't know if anybody's realized it over the last 3 weeks or the last 3-4 weeks how the Cowboys defense has been dominant. Like, every game they have been ruling,
Gotten a lot of guys back. Man, Eberflus is still a really good defensive coordinator. Yeah, regardless of what he's done as a head coach, he's a really good defensive coordinator now. He's got a lot of pieces to work with. The Quinn Williams deal, getting him from the Jets, and that's why the Jets are still the Jets.
Yeah.
Ridiculous franchise.
There was a fire sale in New Jersey, and then Dallas was there to collect the pieces.
Yeah. It was
say
silly.
what you want. Say what you want about Jerry Jones. One thing he is shrewd.
Yeah, he got away with murder again. This is not the first time Jerry Jones has gotten away with murder with some of these players that he's dealt, some of the things he's done. He got away with murder on the Micah Parsons deal, and then he winds up getting Quinn Williams, and then he goes out and gets Logan Wilson, and next thing you know, the Dallas defense that was struggling so mightily early on in the year, they just look like a completely different team.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, very neat.
Yeah. Next up, let's talk about how the Bengals come out here and just beat the Ravens 30-14.
Before we do, very, very quickly, we were going to play the schedule game with the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So they're 6-6, and they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games to get to right their ship and get into the playoffs. They got the Texans, the Chargers, the Titans, the Broncos, and the Raiders. I would call this a medium schedule at worst.
Yeah.
Because the Broncos on Christmas Day is going to basically decide your season. If you play your cards right, Christmas Day is you're either going to open your present and find a playoff spot, or you're going to find a lump of coal and 2 tickets to Cancun. Yeah. So they should beat the Texans. The Chargers might give them fits. They always do. It's a division game, and they always hit different. They should absolutely steamroll the Titans on the 21st. But the problem with that is they got a game 4 days after that. It'll be a short week. So, you're going from Titans to Broncos in 4 days, and you have to go back to Arrowhead to face them. I'm telling you, that December 25th game, mark your calendars, kids. That is going to be the make or break it game with the Kansas City Chiefs. All right, back to the Bengals and the Ravens.
Yeah, the Bengals come out of nowhere. They beat the Ravens 32-14. The Ravens fall to 6-6. The Bengals come back to 4-8.
And Joe Burrow comes back of all players, and I'm like, is this a different team now?
I understand the old adage. They've said it over and over again. We've heard coaches say it. You play to win the game, right? You play to win the game. But the Bengals
shout out Herm Edwards.
They're 4-8. It's at this stage. The likelihood of the Bengals. They have to run the table first of all to even come close to making it to the playoff. They got to run the table because then they're going to be 9-8. And then
the Bills might put them through the table.
Yeah,
exactly.
And then if they run the table, they go 9-8. They might not even win their division, and that's going to be the only chance that they have to actually make the playoff is if they win their division. So I mean, and I understand that the Steelers are a sinking ship right now. They've lost a ton. The Ravens are 6-6, but they've been hot lately, and for them to actually lose this game was baffling to me. Cincinnati basically field goaled them to death in this game. Joe Burrow, 24 for 46, 261, 2 touchdowns, and a sack. Chase Brown had 15 carries for 78 yards. Samaje Perine had 14 for 39. Receiving-wise, Jamar Chase, 7 for 110. Chase Brown, 7 for 35. Andre Yosebas, 1 for 29, and a very nice touchdown. And then Mitchell Tinsley, 2 for 22. But if you look at the numbers for Evan McPherson, 6 field goals in this game. I mean, they just field goaled him to death.
See what I mean? Sometimes you need them.
And then meanwhile, for the Ravens, Lamar Jackson, 17 for 32, 246 and a pick. Derrick Henry, 10 carries for 60 yards and a touchdown. Keaton Mitchell also, and I forgot how fast Keaton Mitchell is. Looks like he didn't miss a beat after the ACL tear. 2 carries, 19.
It took him a year.
Yeah, 2 carries, 19 yards and a touchdown. That was one of the fastest touchdowns I've seen in a hot minute.
East Carolina.
Yeah, Isaiah Likely, 5 receptions for 95 yards, and we'll talk about the more baffling thing when it comes to that stat line. Mark Andrews, 4 for 47. Derrick Henry had 1 for 44. DeAndre Hopkins, 2 for 25. Charlie Kolar gets 1 for 17. I'm going to tell you the baffling thing about this whole thing. Isaiah Likely comes off a game against the Bengals where he is the tight end 1 for them, 5 receptions, 95 yards, has himself a hell of a day. And then the Ravens, just yesterday, go out and sign tight end Mark Andrews to a 3-year, $39.3 million extension, $13.1 million. Why?
I'm tiptoeing out the bank. Hope you don't speak to me.
Yeah, but why? Why?
It's rewarding the player who's been there from damn near the beginning. I mean, Mark Andrews has been a solid target for Lamar Jackson for the past, since Lamar Jackson's been in the league.
But he's 30 years old. He'll be 33 by the end of the contract. Is this?
This is a thank you.
Yeah, I get it. It's also one of those moments where I'm just like, is it not time to pass the torch to Isaiah Likely and say, hey, you're tight end 1?
Just because you really got an extension doesn't mean he remains TP1. right?
Well, and also, Mark Andrews is the guy that dropped the pass in the AFC Championship game that could have taken your team to a Super Bowl. I mean, we all saw that game.
Yeah.
How they narrowly lost by a dropped 2-point conversion.
The Ravens at a certain point, they're really good about the cap, right? Yeah, they're really good about managing the cap, and usually really good about managing contracts. They're one of the better teams when it comes to that, and their general managers are whether it's DeCosta or whether it was Ozzie Newsome before, they're the best in football, right? I mean, outside of maybe the Eagles, I mean, that's kind of their front office is phenomenal for Baltimore. Yeah. But this is one of those contracts, and I messaged Tyler about it, and even Tyler was like, I don't get it. He's like, I don't like it. I don't. 13.1 per year. It's like, I feel like we're just taking up cap space for the sake of taking.
Yeah, and in our little group, old Tyler Shanto is the resident Baltimore Eagles fan, and if he's saying he doesn't get it, then imagine what everybody else might be thinking.
Yeah, I personally don't get it, but it is what it is. And the Ravens, they go out and drop one. They drop to 6-6. Here we are. I mean, we could see the Ravens. They almost have to win out to make the playoffs.
If there's any team that can do it, though, it is Baltimore, because they started they had that horrible early season skid, and the Lamar injury didn't help. But the good news was it happened early. So now you've got games against the Steelers. You got an AFC North smorgasbord. You got Steelers and Bengals. Then you got a tough game against the Patriots on the 21st. And then you got Packers and Steelers to round out the season. So, it's not going to be a walk in the park, especially since you're playing in one of the toughest divisions in football. But if any team can get there, it's the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, I agree. One team that's taken us by surprise, sitting at the number 1 seed in the NFC right now, the Chicago Bears. They go out and beat the Philadelphia Eagles 24-15. Yeah.
I'm probably going to be doing this a lot.
This one was wild, too. The Bears, Caleb Williams, 17 for 36, 154 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Kyle Monangai. Boots, your guy.
Bootleg B team stand up.
Thank you. 22 carries, 130 yards, and a touchdown. DeAndre Swift, 18 carries for 125 and a touchdown. They ran the ball down the Eagles' throats in this game. Cole Kmet, 3 receptions for 36 yards and a TD. Luther Bird, the third, 4 receptions for 33. Colston Loveland, 3 for 28. This was the Bears grounding and pounding the Philadelphia Eagles. Meanwhile, Jalen Hurts, 19 for 34, 230 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Saquon Barkley, 13 carries, just 56 yards. He had a 4.3. Yeah, A.J. Brown, 10 receptions for 132 yards and 2 touchdowns. Devontae Smith, 5 for 48. Kevin Patullo, their offensive coordinator for the Eagles.
Kevin Patui.
Yeah, he's been getting his
This offense is Patui.
It's terrible. Well,
Patui.
would it be Patui or Patuo? Patuo.
Patui.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's really bad. It's bad.
Hawk Patui. I don't want to get sued by Hawk Girl.
the Hawk
The
Tuah
Hawk
girl.
Girl. I want to
Yeah,
get sued.
But look, I guess the Eagles fans apparently went and egged his house after this game. They were so mad.
That's a new low even for Eagles fans.
Hey. That means something. You know how expensive eggs is? You're
That's true.
not wrong.
That is an expensive show of disrespect.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
they mean that.
Yeah. That apparently he said a line was crossed. He said his family was so upset. And, I mean,
They were. All the omelets they could have made.
Yeah, this is and Nick Sirianni. This is terrible.
But that took you a minute.
Yeah, I just clicked. But Nick Sirianni stands by Patullo as the
Yeah, just don't stand too close.
yeah, you're gonna get egg too.
Egg on your face.
Yeah. In the meantime, the Eagles defensive tackle, I forget his name now. Why am I struggling with this name at the moment?
You give me a second, I'll pull them up.
Jalen Carter. He went out and he He underwent surgery on both shoulders. He's likely going to be out for the Week 13 game against the Chargers, Week 14 game rather, against the Chargers on Monday Night Football.
Uh-oh.
Week to week moving forward.
Well, you know how his shoulders hurt, don't
Why is that?
you? They kept asking him what's wrong. He said, I don't know.
Shrugging his way to a rotator cuff procedure.
Yeah.
What's wrong with the team, Jalen? I don't know.
No, I don't know. What's going on?
Why'd you spit on Dak in week 1? I don't know. Jeez. How the mighty have fallen, or are falling, I should say.
Are we preparing? We got to ask first. I got a couple of questions. First question is, are we preparing for a Philadelphia Eagles meltdown like we saw a couple years ago, where they lost basically the whole second half of the season and missed the playoffs and all this other crap? Is that what we're getting ready to see here?
Well, they got to the playoffs.
Well, yeah, they lost in the wild card.
But they might as well have missed them the way that they played that day.
Yep.
Right? With the moot face on the sideline with Jalen Hurts and
Is that what we're called, the boot face?
yeah, they have the moot face.
Yeah, and then, Tampa Bay just dog walked them in their home stadium. So, that was a sight to behold. I don't think, I can see it. I can see it happening. I mean, if we play the schedule game, they gotta get right game against the Raiders on the 14th. Got a hard game against the Chargers, and they're going to Los Angeles. So, if you would have told me about this matchup at the beginning of the season, I would have told you forget about it. Eagles all day. No, I'm not so sure. Yeah. And then you have 2 hard games against the Commanders, sandwiched against a game with the Bills. And this is to end the season. So, I don't know, guys. I just don't know. I can see a meltdown coming.
If they keep playing like this, we might see the Philadelphia Eagles miss the playoff. Yeah. I mean, it's really bad.
It's a real thing.
And then the next question I have is very simple. What did I say? I said that the Chicago Bears were going to win the NFC North. Right now, as it stands, Chicago is the number 1 seed in the entire NFC. We could see the Chicago Bears win the NFC North this year. It's very likely at this point.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go so far to say that.
I think it is.
I will say this, though. They are in first place. They are where they are.
I think they could. They have a very strong possibility of winning the division.
I mean, if we're playing a schedule game, they do have some pretty tough games. They haven't played the Packers yet, and now they got a cheese sandwich, a cheese and turd sandwich. You got two slices of cheese, and in the middle you got the Cleveland Browns. So. Yeah, a cheese turd sandwich, but it's not an easy one. And then you're going to San Fran against the 49ers, and then you're ending the season with the Detroit Lions at home. So Ben Johnson's revenge game, I'm saying this right now, Dan Campbell had his revenge game.
Yeah.
But revenge, as we all know, is a dish best served cold. And where are they going to be playing? That's right. On the outdoors in the windy city of Chicago, Illinois. Oh boy. So it's get your popcorn, kids. That game will be a fight.
Yeah, it's going to get ugly. Next up, let's go ahead and talk about the Dolphins beating the Saints 21-17. Here's the Dolphins.
Okay.
Just randomly killing their draft stock.
What's up? Shut up.
Believe it or not, the Dolphins right now are still technically on the bubble.
Hey.
And they've won a few games here.
Hey. I had the Dolphins as a wild card team.
Yeah, I'm blown away by the fact that they've won. I think they've won, 3 straight now?
Yeah, let me see. Yeah, I had Buffalo, Miami, New England, New York.
Wow.
That's how I had it.
That is 3 straight wins, including that baffling win over their division rivals, the Bills.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. I ain't saying.
I don't know where all of this came from.
Miami almost lost this game.
Yes, they did.
Due to horrible clock and time management.
Yes.
By the head coach. It just awful. End of half. At the end of the first half, not calling a timeout and just kind of playing for a field goal. What have I said about playing for a field goal?
Field goals get you beat.
Oh, don't just play for a field goal. Push it. Try for a touchdown. The field goal is the backup plan.
Yep.
It's like your timeouts are not like cell phone minutes. They don't carry over.
Yeah, they were baffling. For the Saints, Tyler Shuck, 26 for 38, 239 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick here. Devin Neal jumps in for Alvin Kamara, who was out in this game due to an ankle injury. Devin Neal, 14 carries for 47 yards. Receiving-wise, Devon Belay, 8 receptions, 93 yards and a touchdown. Chris Olave gets 4 for 47 and a touchdown. Jawan Johnson, 5 for 39. Meanwhile, for the Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa just 12 for 23 in this one, 157 yards and a pick. Devin Achane gets 22 carries for 134 yards and a touchdown. He had a 6.1 average on the day. Darren Waller, 2 receptions for 47. Jalen Waddle gets 3 for 40. Malik Washington, 4 for 30.
So Tua throws the ball 23 times, makes 50% of his catches for less than 200 yards, get no touchdowns and a pick, get sacked 4 times, and the Dolphins still win? How?
Here's the thing. I don't know if this is just the Dolphins being lucky or the Saints being inept, or maybe a little bit of both.
I would probably say a little bit of both. I mean,
like this is just a world of suck in this. That's kind of where we got to with this football game. It was just bad.
Yeah.
Just if you really wanted to watch bad football, here we are. I mean, goodness gracious. Next up, let's talk about the Houston Texans beating the Indianapolis Colts. The surging Houston Texans versus beating the slumping Indianapolis Colts, which is crazy.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
And let's talk about the Colts first. 14 for 27, 201 yards, 2 touchdowns for Daniel Jones. Rushing-wise, you get Jonathan Taylor, 21 carries for 85 yards. Receiving-wise, Alec Pierce, 4 for 78 and a touchdown. Josh Downs, 2 for 44. Jonathan Taylor gets 3 for 36, and Tyler Warren gets 3 for 22 and a touchdown. He was playing in this game sick, by the way. I didn't, he had an illness going in.
Sick of Daniel Jones' play.
Probably, especially over the last couple of games. For the Texans, C.J. Stroud, 22 for 35, 276 yards and a pick. Jaquavius Woody Marks, 19 carries for 64 yards. Nico Collins gets 5 receptions for 98. Jaden Higgins, 5 for 65. Dalton Schultz, 7 for 55. Xavier Hutchinson, 2 for 39. Woody Marks also had a 3-yard reception in this game. So, look, it's a defensive surge from the Houston Texans recently.
Yeah, they've been keeping the defense has been keeping the team afloat.
Yes.
Davis Mills played admirably in the absence of C.J. Stroud, even to his first appearance. Disgustingly awful.
It was bad.
But he came back, bounced back, responded well, and led the team, and the Houston Texans still with an opportunity. Everything's still in front of them.
Yeah, and meanwhile, the Colts are struggling, and they've got other problems. First of all, their newly acquired corner from the Jets, Sauce Gardner, he's considered week to week due to a calf strain, so he's dealing with that. But then the other thing was they have waived their kicker Michael Badgley after a missed point attempt, extra point against the Texans here. So they waived their kicker. So here's so here's the Colts searching for a new kicker.
So now you got to search for a new kicker towards the end of the year.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't.
You know who I'm on the phone with if I'm the Indianapolis Colts? Hello, Mr. Blankenship. Paging Rodrigo Blankenship.
Well,
where is he at?
They did go out and sign a kicker. They go out and sign Blake Grupe, who just got cut by the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
So I don't understand that either, because Grupe wasn't good this year either.
But where's his Grupe?
Yeah.
They're not going to follow him there, are they?
I guess they got to go to the horseshoe there. But at the same time, I'm just kind of like, what are we doing here? Why would you pick up the kicker that just got cut by the Saints, make it for being shitty? It doesn't make sense. None of it does. But here we are. So,
All
All right.
Yeah.
Keep playing around.
I guess I just don't understand why and how. And I keep saying this on this show, and Alex, you said it here. I don't understand how Rodrigo Blankenship has not been signed by an NFL team. Somebody explain it to me. Somebody, please. I don't understand. The guy was basically perfect.
They don't like his dog.
Maybe. I don't know, but he was perfect for the UFL this last year. I don't get it. But the Colts, they go out and drop one to the Texans. Next up, Jets. They go out and beat the Falcons 27-24. Called it. Yeah, this one, crazy. Kirk Cousins, 21 for 33, 234 and a touchdown. Bijan Robinson, 23 carries for 142 yards and a TD. Tyler Algier gets 8 for 20 and a touchdown. Kyle Pitts, 7 receptions, 82 yards. Bijan also had 5 receptions for 51 in this game. Tyler Algier, 2 for 35. Darnell Mooney, 2 for 25. Nemo, what's funny?
How do you put up these types of numbers
And
you still lose to the Jets?
I don't get it. Tyrod Taylor.
Raheem, come on, man.
Tyrod Taylor, 19 for 33, 172 yards and a touchdown. Breece Hall, 19 carries for 68 yards and a touchdown. Tyrod Taylor also ran the ball 8 times for 44 yards and got a touchdown of his own. Adonai Mitchell, who they just acquired from the Colts, 8 receptions, 102 yards, and a touchdown. That was the receiver they acquired in that Sauce Gardner trade. And the Jets, man, they go out and beat the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons fall to 4-8. The Jets move to 3-9.
They killed their draft stock. If we take a look at our fine friends at Tankathon, they're sitting at 7. Miami's sitting at 12. And Cincinnati's 10th. So I'm like, we're talking about these teams that have these such low records, and it's like, you're not going to make the playoffs. In Cincinnati's case, they might miss.
But Boots, what do we do?
We play to win the game.
That's it. I mean, that's all they're doing. I mean, I agree.
Aaron Glenn is not going to just, pack it in and let it go.
Yeah, he's not that. He's not that guy. And I mean, to me, like as a Vikings fan, watching how bad we've been, I'm just, and we'll be talking about this momentarily, but just looking at how bad we've been, I'm just like, you guys can go ahead and keep winning. Like we can just move into the top 10. Please give me Fernando Mendoza. Like, please, God. But the Jets, man, they go out there and they just do what they got to do. They win this football game.
What I gotta do.
And they did it in the fourth quarter with that 13-point fourth quarter. It was an exciting one, but the Jets get it done. Next up, let's talk about the 49ers and the Browns. The Niners beat the Browns 26-8. Brock Purdy, 16 for 29, 168 yards and a touchdown. Christian McCaffrey, 20 carries for 53 yards and a TD of his own. Brian Robinson Jr. has 8 carries for 26 yards. George Kittle, 4 receptions for 67 yards. Jawan Jennings, 4 for 39 and a touchdown. Kyle Juszczyk, 2 for 27. Meanwhile, for the Browns, Shedeur Sanders, 16 for 25, 149 yards and a touchdown. He got sacked 3 times in this game. Quinshon Judkins with a bounce-back game here, 23 carries for 91 yards. But the guy who actually had the better average on the day, Dylan Sampson, 4 carries for 23 yards. Harold Fannin,
Only 4 carries.
but he had 23 yards on those carries.
Oh, 4
He had
carries.
a 5.8 average. Come on now. Harold Fannin, 3 receptions.
4 carries.
Hey, wait, look, this is the same
You
discussion.
tell me it was 15?
This is the,
I'm all right.
this
with
is the
somebody.
same discussion that we have been having, that I had years ago about the Melvin Gordon versus Austin Eckler situation. Receiving wise, Harold Fannin, 3 receptions for 43 yards and a TD. Jerry Jeudy, 3 for 26, and Gage Larvadan. I just, that's a bad
Larvadian.
Larvadian, is that how we're pronouncing that? But anyway, who gives a crap? They lose. The Niners beat the Browns 26-8. The Niners advanced to 9-4. Man,
And Shedeur does not win his home opener.
not his
won
home
it.
baby.
He won his debut as a starter, but did not win the home debut, which means
Oh, you lost out.
my,
Yeah, your
my
bold
I
prediction.
believe
Yeah,
he was going to win 5 of those 8 starts. He only had 7.5. Well, if he starts the rest of the year, it's only 7.5.
yeah.
And he's now not going to be able to win those 5, but that's all right.
But
At least
Shedeur
they're playing the right quarterback.
and Shedeur actually, mistake 3 football here. right? He played mistake-free football, no picks. He got sacked quite a bit. He had a 93.6 rating in this game, which is actually pretty good.
Yeah, he's used to getting sacked because he holds on to the ball too long.
Yeah.
That type of thing. The Caleb Williams syndrome.
Yeah.
I can do it. Just get rid of it. Right?
Yeah.
Look to fight another down.
Find your guy and get rid of the ball.
And if you can't get rid of it, look to fight another down, brother.
Yeah. But the Niners, I mean, Christian McCaffrey looking like old reliable here. As for the Browns, we believe that they're playing the right quarterback, but they might not feel that way because they have officially designated quarterback Deshaun Watson to return from the PUP list and opened up his 21-day practice window.
What?
Yeah, he's a Deshaun Watson.
Oh, my God.
He's officially practicing.
Just when we thought things could not get any worse for Cleveland, we got to bring Deshaun Watson into the equation.
Yeah.
It's getting late early in Cleveland.
It's been late.
It's been very late.
Yeah, it's like midnight over there. Next up, here's another surprise. Here's another surprise. Carolina goes out and beats the LA Rams 31-28. Wow. Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford, 18 for 28, 243, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Blake Corum actually outgains Kyren Williams here. 7 carries for 81 yards and a touchdown. Kyren gets 13 for 72 and a touchdown. Meanwhile, receiving-wise, Xavier Smith, 3 for 82. Puka Nacua, 6 receptions for 72 yards. Devontae Adams, 4 for 58 and 2 touchdowns. He's been a touchdown machine this year. Colby Parkinson, 4 receptions for 27. For the Panthers, Bryce Young, 15 for 20, 206 and 3 touchdowns on the day. Chuba Hubbard, 17 carries for 83 yards. Outgains Rico Dowdle. Dowdle, 18 carries for 58 yards. I know Dowdle's been playing hurt recently, so this might be the opening for Chuba Hubbard. Receiving-wise, Jalen Coker, 4 receptions for 74 yards and a touchdown. Ted McMillan, he only had 1 catch on the day on 2 targets, but it went for 43 yards and a TD. Chuba Hubbard, 2 receptions for 41 yards and a touchdown. Rico Dowdle, 2 for 21. The Panthers might be shifting back to Chuba Hubbard sooner rather than later. We'll see how that works out. The Panthers get this one done. Sort of a surprise here, right?
Not for Alex, but what did I say? Earlier about turnover?
Yep.
Matt Stafford with the 2 interceptions.
Yep, right early.
One was fine.
Back to back.
The other went for a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
And look at the score again.
Yep.
31.
Awesome.
Right? That's when I was talking about turnovers. That's the deal. It is so hard to win a game, any game in NFL, period. But when you turn the ball over multiple times, you're giving the other team multiple possessions to score.
Yep.
Your defense is getting now worn down more than it would have been had you not turned the ball over, and you're losing the TOP battle.
Mm-hmm. Time of possession.
Yep, and they did lose the time of possession battle big time, 35 to 24 minutes. I mean, and then also not just the interception, but they also lost a fumble in this game. So three turnovers to Carolina's 0 turnovers in this game. Ball control football by Carolina, and they wind up getting it done.
Now check it out here. The Carolina Panthers are just a half a game behind the division leaders, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And guess who they have going down the stretch? That's right. You got a Buccaneers sandwich with the Seahawks in the middle. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 games left, and they're all against division opponents save for 1. So they should beat the New Orleans Saints because they're the Saints. Pay attention to those 2 games, in Tampa, in Carolina, and then in Tampa to end the season. We could see the battle for the NFC South crown, on week 18. And Carolina might be able to run away with it.
Is that matchup between Carolina and Tampa in week 18?
Yes, sir, it is.
Oh, buddy. I mean, week 18 shaping up.
Yeah, it's a football holiday around these parts.
Yep.
A lot of division matchups.
Remember who told you that the Carolina Panthers will win the NFC
South.
Yeah. Well, we remember. So, I mean, I want to see.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
But I want to see, because this could be, and Alex, it's becoming a trend now. The NFC South, every year in Week 18, seems to get contested in Week 18. Every single year for like the last 4 years. If you recall, we've been sitting there watching Week 18 going, this division is up for grabs again. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, the last 2 years, it's been between Tampa and Atlanta. Now we're talking about Tampa and Carolina. This division seems to be always down to the wire. And it's one of the most exciting games of the week. So I'm excited for that if it comes down to it. I kind of hope it comes down to it because that would be fun to watch.
Yeah.
Week 18.
Every single game in Week 18 is a division game.
Well, they're booking this thing.
Yeah, right. Next up, Jacksonville Jaguars go up to Tennessee Titans 25-3. Hey, yeah, Trevor Lawrence 16 for 27, 229, 2 touchdowns on the day. Travis Etienne 12 carries for just 28 yards. They just couldn't get the ball going on the ground. Facial Tootin did get 8 carries for 17 yards and a touchdown. Receiving wise, Jacoby Myers 6 receptions for 90 and a touchdown. Brenton Strange 3 for 45 and a touchdown. Meanwhile, for the Titans,
We really need to talk about it.
I mean, kind of. Cam Ward 24 for 38, 141. Tony Pollard 10 for 60, and then the rest was just who gives a shit. I mean, it was bad.
Penalties. Let's take a look.
Yeah.
How many when I talk about the turnovers,
Yeah.
right? The next in line after turnovers killing your team
This whole game was filled with penalties.
is penalties.
Yep.
How many did Tennessee have?
10 penalties for 86 yards.
See what I'm saying? All season long, this has been Tennessee. Penalty, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Penalty, Tennessee.
And really, the Jags actually had more penalties than Tennessee. They had 13 for 98 yards. I
So
mean,
that's how bad you are. You give up more penalties and you still lose.
Yep.
Get blown out.
And you still get blown out. I mean, this is, I mean, it's no wonder that Tankathon has them ranked, the top pick again.
yeah, and
Start calling them penalties.
let's talk about Tennessee. They lost 2 fumbles in this game. But the number that gets me about both these teams is look at that third down efficiency. 3 for 13 by Jacksonville, 2 for 12 by Tennessee. What in the hell is going on here? This is crazy.
It's like you can't get to the sticks, apparently. Or you're doing it on first and second down, so you don't need third down.
13 times on third down, you only got 3 of them? Or 12 times on third down, you got 2 of them? Just baffling. Just baffling. I can't believe the
if you
Jags.
holler at 13 girls at the club, you might get 2 numbers.
I mean, yeah, but that's a different situation, I guess, But, I mean, look at the Jags right now, sitting at 8-4 in this division right now. And they're tied for first place right now in that division, as it currently stands, Jacksonville Jaguars.
They're tied with the Colts, and the Houston Texans are only a half a game behind them. It is literally a coin flip situation.
Mark my words, the Houston Texans are about to take that division again.
Look, I got to mark your word.
Yeah, you
wrote
called
it
it at the
down.
beginning of the year.
AFC South, Houston with an 11-6 record. I
Yeah.
had them over Tennessee, then Jacksonville, then Indy. I really did believe in Jacksonville and Indy.
Yeah.
To put
Yeah,
Tennessee
yeah.
up there.
I actually, I think all 3 of us actually said Houston was going to take that division, but it's been.
And if we play the schedule game, it kind of looks like that. I mean, they got a rough matchup against the Chiefs at Arrowhead, this Sunday, and then you got the Cardinals, the Raiders, the Chargers, and then you end out the season hosting the Indianapolis Colts. So.
That divisional game. Here we
Yeah,
go.
man.
Here we go.
Yeah.
It could be good. And if you look at the Texans and their schedule, and you just named off those games, I think only one of them sounds like a real challenge to me at this stage, and it's the Chiefs. And I don't even know if that's a full challenge because the Chiefs have not been themselves this year. So I'm like, that's still at this stage of the game a winnable game.
Mhm.
So we could go into Week 18 going, hey,
Daniel Jones is still dealing with that fibula.
Yeah.
A crack in his fibula.
Yeah.
In his shin.
And he hasn't been playing well.
So you don't want him to miss any time.
Yep. And he's got a 3D printed pad on that fibula that we talked about that a couple weeks ago. You know, he's got his, and now he's gone to his teammates from Duke, I guess, and they have made a 3D printed pad for his leg to try and protect it. It's a crazy situation, but here we are. You know, we've got the Jags, and the Titans are obviously out of this thing, but you got a three-way battle here between the Jags, Colts, and Texans for the AFC South. Yeah, here we go. Next up, let's talk about the Buccaneers. They squeak one out against the Cardinals, 20-17. For the Bucs, Baker Mayfield, 18 for 28, 194 yards and a touchdown. Bucky Irving, 17 for 61 and a touchdown. Meanwhile, receiving-wise, Chris Godwin, here we go, 3 receptions for 78 yards. IYKYK, 4 for 42. Rashad White, 3 for 22. Bucky Irving, 2 for 20. On the other side, the Cardinals, Jacoby Brissett, 29 for 40, 301 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Zonovan Knight, 11 carries for 62 yards. He had a 5.6 average on the day. Trey McBride, 8 receptions for 82 yards and a touchdown, just doing Trey McBride stuff. Marvin Harrison Jr. returns from his appendectomy. He gets 6 receptions for 69 yards. Michael Carter, 5 receptions for 47 yards. Zonovan Knight, 3 for 36 and a touchdown. And Michael Wilson, 3 for 36 and a touchdown. The Buccaneers, you know, they get this one, they squeak it out. They've been struggling to get the ball to IYKYK for several weeks now. They've been hyper-targeting him. They can't seem to get him the football. Good news for them. Wide receivers Mike Evans and Jalen McMillan have had their 21 practice day windows opened up from their IR stints. So they will be returning within the next 3 weeks for the Buccaneers. So we could see a full-strength Buccaneers team going into that potential showdown in Week 18 against the Carolina Panthers.
Oh boy, get your popcorn, everybody. And you know, is Baker still having trouble with that left arm? Because in the Rams game, you know, last week, you know, he hurt his non-throwing arm and he was in considerable pain. They had to put in the backup. They had to put in Teddy Bridgewater. So, you know, is that going to be a factor going down the stretch?
Yep, Baker's been dealing with it, and you know, a lot of that, the struggles of getting IYKYK the ball have started since that point. You know, you see Daniel Jones dealing with a leg injury, even though it's like a non-throwing shoulder situation for Baker. It's also a situation where that's got to be hurt to turn your body in that fashion and be putting all that force behind the throw. It still has to hurt to be doing all that with your shoulders. Yeah, you know,
you're the guy, the resident guy
with shoulders.
Know the shoulders.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
I mean, I've never tried to throw a football with an injured shoulder like that, but I mean, here we are. The Cardinals, you know, they're kind of in the doldrums, 3-9. They're not hurting their draft stock at all. I'll tell you that much.
Not at all.
Yeah, but they need a quarterback. They're going to go after a quarterback in this draft. I just no doubt in my mind. I think Kyler Murray has you know, played his last day as a Cardinal.
They might be going after a coach.
Yeah, you think so? You think Gannon's gone?
Man, how long can you keep getting the same results?
Yeah,
from different coaches, right? Which is nothing.
Yeah.
Speaking of nothing.
Yeah, let's talk about nothing. The Minnesota Vikings managed to put up nothing against the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks win this game 26-0. Hurtful. Yeah, painful shutout. Max Brosmer, 19 for 30, 126, 0 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions on the day. Jordan Mason, 6 carries for 47 yards. TJ Hawkinson, 6 for 59. Jordan Addison, 5 for 36. Aaron Jones, 4 receptions for 22. Meanwhile, for the Seahawks, Sam Darnold, 14 for 26, 128 yards. Kenny Walker, 13 carries for 56. Zach Charbonnet, 14 carries for 52 and a touchdown. Receiving-wise, A.J. Barner was the big guy there. 4 receptions for 35 yards. It was really nothing special. Jackson Smith and Jigba just 2 receptions for 23 on the day. The Vikings defense has done their job all year. They have. Yeah. They've done their job. And then you sit there and like a lot of people are like, oh, the defense is bad. No. The defense isn't bad. They're just on the field all the time. They're on the field constantly.
What was I saying earlier about turnover?
Time of possession.
Right?
Yeah.
With all of the turnovers that
the Vikings have had,
Yep.
dead last in turnover differential,
Yep.
right? It's showing up in the box score, and it's showing up in the game.
And here's a problem I have with this game in particular, because people are going to slam Max Brosmer, and I understand it.
Mhm.
Oh, bargain basement bros.
Listen, to an extent, I understand it. But he had drop for Addison, drop for Naylor, drop for Addison again, and the drop for Naylor went into a pick, drop for Jefferson into a pick, drop by Jefferson again. Like if those catches are made, we're talking drive
only two
extending. Well, that's two
Yeah.
of the interceptions. One of them going down, like you can't absolve him of it, right? Two of them you couldn't. He throws behind Jordan Addison.
Right.
You know, the corner takes it.
Right.
The other one, he's going down and he just
Right.
tries to do something with it. And it was just like,
That's
just
like,
take the
oh,
fucking sack,
no.
dude.
Exactly.
You know, but that's rookie shit. The one going down where he tries to make something, that's silly shit where it's like, look, I can kind of absolve that. I can kind of absolve you. I can't really absolve, but I can understand you threw behind the receiver. It was a bad throw. I get it. But the other two, I'm like, wait a fucking minute. Everybody's over here blaming this guy for the one from Jefferson, it was in his hands. It's in his fucking hands, and he just let it go to the corner. The other one to Naylor gets on an elevator to go get it. He gets his hands on it, goes right through his hands into a pick. I'm like, what are we doing here?
That's called apathy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of apathy with the Minnesota wide receivers because as talented as they are, we all know it.
They don't have a quarterback.
They have not gotten any support from the quarterback staff. None. I mean, the best one we've had was who? Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
So let me tell you, the Vikings put Carson Wentz out there.
Oh, they sacrificed
with
him.
the shoulder that was being held together by bubble gum and duct tape.
Yeah.
And that told me everything I needed to know about the quarterback situation in Minnesota in regards to J.J. McCarthy and Max Brody. Because there was no way in the world Carson Wentz should have been playing. I forget was it the Browns?
Yeah.
I think it was no way in the world that Carson Wentz should have been playing in that game. And that was the end of his season.
Yeah, it was.
And it may even be the end of his career.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's about done.
Yeah, but that told me everything I needed to know about what the Vikings thought about their own quarterback room.
Yeah, I think the Vikings are a shoe-in to go into next year's draft quarterback. I think it's without a doubt. I think they have done enough to do that. If they don't draft a quarterback, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, I think Kwesi Adofo-Mensah after the season should be gone. I'm a firm believer in that. I think Kwesi Adofo-Mensah has done so much stupid, silly shit and set this franchise back for 5 years. We're not just with the quarterback selection. You have no corners over there. Right. You need two safeties because Theo Jackson ain't it, and Harrison Smith's about to retire. Yeah. And then you're over here and like, look, I like Isaiah Rodgers and I like Byron Murphy, but who else is there? There's nobody. You have no secondary. No. And the front seven, for as good as they should be on paper, Javon Hargrave and Jonathan Allen have disgustingly underperformed for the money that they're getting. And these guys have 3-year deals. And I'm supposed to sit here and be like, oh, this is just fine. And Donovan Jackson, okay, you needed a guard and you got it. But Will Fries, you want to talk about a guy underperforming? Will Fries is underperformed. Matt Daniels, the special teams coordinator, needs to be fired. He needs to be gone. Their offensive coordinator needs to be gone. You need to go get Brian Dable in the door as your offensive coordinator or Ken Dorsey. If you really want to fix your passing game, you go get Ken Dorsey. I'm sorry. That's just what you do. You get Ken Dorsey in the door and you say, all right, let's throw the football. If you want to throw the football, go get a passing offensive coordinator like Ken Dorsey because you saw what he did in Buffalo when Stephon Diggs was there. You have Justin Jefferson. You have Jordan Addison. Imagine what Ken Dorsey could have done if he had real receivers over there other than just one in Stephon Diggs. Like I'm like, man, you put him on this Minnesota team and it's a no-brainer. This should be the most logical move the Minnesota Vikings could make right now. And instead, and aside from going out and getting corners and getting a quarterback, if I go into this offseason and I'm Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, I'm doing two things at the quarterback position. One, I'm paying Kyler Murray to come over here because he ain't going to be a Cardinal anymore. And you're going to make him one of the reclamation projects for Kevin O'Connell because Kyler Murray is a good reclamation project. They just haven't given him an offensive line for the life of me at Arizona, I just don't understand. Number two, you're going to draft a quarterback first round, preferably if you can get to him, Fernando Mendoza. If you can get Fernando, if he doesn't go 1 overall, which I think a lot of people are kind of banking on Ty Simpson going number 1 overall. If Fernando Mendoza seems to fall to the Minnesota Vikings or happens to fall to the Vikings there, you take him and you roll with it, because you need something behind Kyler. In a first-round pick, you sit him, you let him learn, and Fernando Mendoza should be your franchise quarterback. But this has been a baffling turn of events. It's a team that was built to win that is not winning. I don't get it. Boots, am I for saying this?
Not all of it. I think the Brian Flores' defense predicated on blitzing and showing you this and then showing you that, change it at the snap, and then come after you. That's been what we've been living on without the comforts of the secondary.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you can get to the quarterback, who cares how bad the secondary is, right? And that's where Van Ginkel and those guys have been coming into play.
Dallas Turner has actually turned it on since they started using him as a hand-in-the-dirt edge rusher, as opposed to a one-for-one with Andy Van Ginkel.
Right. Took a little bit of time, but it's working out. You know, the defense has been really good. They've been really solid. Most of the year they've been solid, really good at opportune times, especially when they've all been healthy. But
and the
offensive woes, woo.
Yeah, and the Vikings, their offensive woes get even worse. They go out and waive wide receiver Adam Thielen, and then the Steelers went and claimed Adam Thielen off of waivers. Thielen requested his to be waived.
Because I'm not winning here.
Yeah, I'm not.
And this is my swan song. I'm not about to drown in this one.
Yeah, so he's gone. So there's that. So I mean, he goes to the Steelers.
You're trying to get to a winner.
Yeah, he goes to the Steelers. They scoop him up. Just crazy. Just a crazy situation. But the Vikings, I mean, Alex, this game was terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen a Minnesota Vikings team put up a goose egg in a long time. And to your point about Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, and he's got to go in and get a quarterback for a sometimes you're looking for logic in a place where it doesn't exist. I mean, what have we seen out of Kwesi Adofo-Mensah over these past several years? And what's the one question? I mean, I asked the question about the Cleveland Browns. I asked the question about some other teams. Are the Vikings smart enough to do what you're outlining? And I would have to say, yes, they are, which is probably why it's so frustrating to go in year after year and see that this potential's lining up, and then they, 15 degrees off cool here. That's what this is. He's 15 degrees off center, and it's costing you guys the ability to go to contend for a Super Bowl. Have a deep playoff run, have a respectable team. You do have a respectable team. You just you don't have a quarterback.
The thing with this team is they are an aging team. They are aging. I think they're the oldest team in the NFL as it currently stands. So you're looking at a situation now where you're going to have to start recycling, and you're looking at a situation where you're going to have to go into free agency. You've got these bloated contracts. You built this team to win now, but then the most important player on the field is just not there. That's just what it is. You don't have the most important position on your team filled.
Or don't.
I mean, that's the big thing. So the Vikings, they go out and drop one. They move up in the draft order. I think they've got about 1 year to figure this thing out before.
And I will say this about Max Brosmer. This was a very unfortunate spot to start him. I will defend that. I would not cross off Max Brosmer's name just yet. He had to start his first NFL game against one of the toughest defenses in the league, and it showed with those 4 picks. I mean, you are talking about a group of sharks. I know they're the Seahawks, but they're a group of sharks out there, and a very high-octane defense. So you have that silver lining, but, you're right. They got a year to figure this out.
Yeah.
Willie, big beaming, screaming. I got the fans screaming. Think you can beat me? You're dreaming.
Unbelievable.
Inflate your chest with Metrex.
The Shark.
Remember that?
Yes. Next up, let's talk about the Buffalo Bills beating the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, an interesting little tidbit here about this game, just concerning. So, the Steelers go out and they waive corner Darius Slay after this game. He's been claimed off of waivers by the Bills, but Darius Slay has decided that he's not going to report to the Bills. He is reportedly contemplating retirement. He hasn't decided yet, but Darius Slay will not report for the rest of the season. So we're going to see what happens with Darius Slay, whether he decides to retire or whatever the case may be. But the Bills go out and beat the Steelers 26-7. Josh Allen, 15 for 23, 123 yards, a touchdown and a pick. This was the James Cook show, 32 carries for 144 yards. He just had a great day. Josh Allen, 8 carries for 38 yards and a touchdown. Ray Davis also had 9 for 62, a 6.9 average for old Ray Davis there. James Cook also had 3 receptions for 33. Dawson Knox, 3 for 28. Ty Johnson, 3 for 20. Keon Coleman did get a touchdown in this one. He had 2 receptions for 9 yards. Interesting seeing him on the field after being a healthy scratch for the last 3 weeks for a disciplinary thing.
Missed that meeting.
Yep. Next up, also for the Steelers on the other side, Aaron Rodgers, 10 for 21, 117 yards. He got sacked in this game, had to come out for a minute. Mason Rudolph threw the ball 3 times. He went 0 for 3 in a pick. Jalen Warren, 10 carries for 35 yards and a touchdown. Kenneth Gainwell had 5 for 20. Darnell Washington, 2 receptions for 45 yards. DK Metcalf, 3 for 32. Kenneth Gainwell, 2 for 25. I think the Steelers ship is sunk. I think they're done for the year. I know you love them Steelers. You love them.
Not yet. Mike Tomlin will never say die. Not yet.
And you know what? If we play the schedule game, I have to agree, and here's why. You got a really tough matchup against the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore. That is going to be a mugging. Or Aaron Rodgers could come out of his shell one more time. You don't know. Although, the Aaron Rodgers experiment is pretty much over. I mean, with that stat line, yeesh. But you do have a get right game against the Dolphins. All right. And then, of course, you're closing the season against the Ravens. And then you got games against the Lions and the Browns. So, you could probably get to 10 wins, but...
I love the Steelers, man.
Yeah, you love that. You really do.
The Steelers because the fact that Aaron Rodgers came over here, it was a completely different Aaron Rodgers. I've been saying it before. It was a completely different Aaron Rodgers than we had seen in the previous 2-3 seasons.
Yeah, with the Jets.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, and even as last year with Green Bay, it's a completely different type of thing.
Yep.
He was actually in training camp, working with the receivers. He just called out Jonnu Smith. Hey, I threw the ball one way, he went the other way, intercepted. What do you think is going to happen when you don't show up to meetings?
Yeah.
I'm kind of paraphrasing what he was saying.
Yeah,
but the fact was,
he turned it loose.
Right. But dude, I've been here since the beginning. It hadn't been like the previous few seasons. Oh, where's Aaron Rodgers? He's in a cave somewhere, right? Getting rubbed down with dolphin oil, right? It's not that Aaron Rodgers, he's here. He knows this is probably more than likely seems like his last run.
Yep.
Right. And he knows it. Mike Tomlin knows it. They all know it, but they're gelling the thing together just a little bit more. Hold on just a little bit longer. Give ourselves a wild card.
Give me the winning record. That's
right.
Give me that winning record.
Yep. Get another playoff run, and hey, let's.
You need 3 wins to do it, and if you're gonna get those 3 wins, it's gonna be against the Ravens, the Dolphins, and the Browns. Because you can split the division with the Ravens. I mean, we've seen it time and time again. If there are 2 teams that keep fighting each other and just having knockdown, drag out brawls, it's the Baltimore Ravens and Pittsburgh Steelers. But even if you get the 9-8, even if you get the winning record, and it goes on, I mean, Baltimore might be able to pull the rug out from under you. I'm just saying.
And let's not forget, Cincinnati is still nipping at their heels at this point.
Mind-bogglingly, but yes.
They are. It's just crazy. Next up, let's talk about the LA Chargers. They go out and beat the Raiders 31-14. This one was kind of expected. Justin Herbert, 15 for 20, 151 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Kamani Vidal, he gets 25 carries for 126 yards and a touchdown. Jared Patterson also had 11 for 54 and a touchdown. Lad McConkey, 4 for 39 and a TD. Trey Harris, 3 for 30. Keenan Allen, 4 for 30. Aronde Gadsden, 1 for 27. And then also getting in the end zone there, Quentin Johnston gets 3 for 23 and a TD. Trey Lance comes into this game, only throws 1 ball for 9 yards. Justin Herbert, he goes and he injured his hand. He's got a fracture in his hand. There's a break, actually. It was on his left hand, so it's non-throwing, but he underwent successful surgery on it. The Chargers are actually optimistic that he could play versus the Eagles this week. So we still might see Justin Herbert out there.
Tell you what.
8-4. Meanwhile, the Raiders, Geno Smith, 18 for 23, 165, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Ashton Genty, just 15 carries for 31 yards.
How many times was Geno Smith sacked?
5 times.
Yep. But we've been talking about it. No offensive line for the Raiders.
All season long, bro.
All year.
Ashton Genty is losing a season because the you know what? I didn't.
Losing a season because they don't have a line.
I didn't waste a bar to talk about the Raiders, and I'm not going to waste any more.
Receiving wise, Brock Bowers, 4 receptions for 63 yards. Ashton Genty had 6 receptions for 30. Jack Betch gets 2 for 22. I mean, it is what it is, right? I mean, that's kind of where we're at.
Yep.
It's ugly. Bowers is the lone shiny spot right there, and they're wasting Ashton Genty over there because they can't get an offensive line. I mean, that's the end of the day.
And they've already been eliminated from playoff contention, so there's that.
Yep. Exactly. Next up, Denver. They go out and beat the Commanders 27-26. This one was actually a fun one. Bo Nix, 29 for 45, 321, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. R.J. Harvey, 13 carries for 35 yards. He got in the end zone twice here. Evan Ingram.
Big one in overtime.
Yes, he did. Evan Ingram, 6 receptions for 79 yards. Cortland Sutton, 5 receptions for 62 yards and a touchdown. Adam Troutman, 3 for 47. Pat Bryant, 3 for 42. R.J. Harvey also had 3 for 27.
Bo Nix, he is him.
Yep. And then meanwhile for the Commanders, Marcus Mariota, 28 for 50. It was a true shootout. 294, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Marcus Mariota also ran the ball 10 times for 55 yards. Chris Rodriguez, 11 carries for 41 yards and a touchdown. Receiving-wise, Zach Ertz, 10 receptions for 106 yards. Terry McLaurin, 7 for 96 and a really pretty touchdown. Deebo Samuel, 5 for 64. Traylon Burks also had a catch for 5 yards and a TD here. It was just a shootout, but the Broncos, they pull it out in overtime here and wind up with the
Broncos defense made a huge stop.
They did. They did. Right
to close it out.
Yeah.
Benito.
A batted ball.
Yeah. Benito did that.
Yep. So, I mean, it was a very interesting to watch. I mean, the batted pass right at the line. They got away with one, but it's okay. The Broncos advanced to 10-2. The Commanders fall to 3-9. And the Broncos sitting on top of their division right now. Who would have thunk? Who would have thunk?
Yep, and sitting pretty near the top of the line in the AFC. But I think there's only one team that has a better record than them.
Yep, and that's this team, the New England Patriots. They go out and speaking of the Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels, he has a chance to return in Week 14 versus the Vikings. He suffered that dislocated elbow a few weeks back. That was gross. But Jaden Daniels could return here against the Vikings this week. So
couldn't come at a worse time for the Vikings. I mean, holy smokes! Yeah, because if you get and Jaden Daniels coming back at this hour, they could have one last tiny little push to get to the NFC East. And they have games, 2 games against the Eagles they have to contend with. It's get a load of this ridiculous NFC East sandwich. So after the Vikings this Sunday, they have Giants, Eagles, Cowboys, Eagles. You want to talk about murderers row here? I mean, even though it is the New York Football Giants, it's still a divisional opponent. So, if I'm a betting man, I don't believe these Washington Commanders are going to make the playoffs.
Boots, if you have a chance.
Oh, if you have a chance to make the playoffs, I can see you bringing back Jaden Daniels. But if you do not, then don't do it.
They don't. They're 3-9.
Are they? Oh, they're mathematically eliminated.
I mean,
Not yet.
I mean,
might as well be.
if you're mathematically eliminated, sit him down, shut him down. Hey, let's take this run at this deal next season.
If you're
When we can get a
3-9,
younger team, and if you're not going to make it, sit him down. But if you have a shot,
You're already at a losing record, you know. And if we look at the conference, I mean, they're 14th seed. How
They went out.
if they win out,
Then can they win the division?
no.
Yeah, the best you could do is 7 seed.
Well, there you go.
Oh boy.
As long as you're not eliminated, you get, as Jim Carrey would say. So you're saying there's a chance.
Oh God, it's terrible.
What was that, Lloyd? Yeah.
That was Lloyd.
There you go.
But next up, let's talk about the Patriots. They are the best team right now in the NFL. The New England Patriots beat the New York Giants 33-15.
I still say the Rams, but I could.
But just from a record perspective.
Right there, the Patriots are next.
Yeah, Patriots, Drake May, 34 for 21, or 24 for 31, 282, 2 touchdowns. He's having a hell of a year. Travion Henderson, 11 carries for 67 yards. Ramondre Stevenson, 12 for 40. Receiving-wise, Hunter Henry, 4 for 73. Ramondre Stevenson, 3 for 40. Kayshon Boutte, 4 for 35 and a touchdown. Pop Douglas, 3 for 33. And Kyle Williams, 1 for 33 and a really nice touchdown. Hunter Henry, man, he's having a hell of a year for the Patriots here. He's come on as of late. Speaking of the Giants, let's talk about Jackson Dart, 17 for 24, 139 yards and a touchdown. Devin Singletary, 12 for 68 and a TD. Tyrone Tracy, 10 carries for 36 yards. Receiving-wise, Darius Slayton, 2 for 41. He had a nice touchdown. It basically ran that one in. Devin Singletary, 3 receptions for 34 yards. Wan'Dale Robinson, just 7 receptions for 34 yards. They were just hitting Wan'Dale on all the short stuff. Patriots defense has been really good. Drake May's been really good. The Patriots, they had something. If you look at the wins that they've had, for the most part, they've had a really soft schedule, but they have some big-time wins against teams like Buffalo. So I'm like, okay, like maybe this team is for real. They did go out, and if I'm not mistaken, they also had a big win against the Buccaneers a couple weeks ago as well.
They did.
So big wins against some decent teams.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so we can't necessarily say that they're fool's gold, even though that a lot of their wins have been against bad teams. They're beating the teams they should be, and then they're going up against some decent teams and beating a couple of them, like Buffalo and Tampa.
And they also have the hot hand with the schedule game because they have their bye week this week, so and you only have 4 games to round out the season, and most of them are division games. But those next 2 are pretty tough. You get W's here, you could see the New England Patriots lock the number 1 seed in the AFC. They got a showdown in Gillette Stadium against the Bills on the 14th. Then they go to Baltimore on the 21st. Then they go to the Jets on the 28th, and then Week 18 they're at home versus the Dolphins. So
now, we just got done talking about a gauntlet in the East, in the NFC East, and the gauntlet that those first 2 games in particular. Yeah, that's Bills and then Ravens back to back.
Yeah,
holy smokes.
Yeah, you're gonna need all the experience of your head coach, Mike Vrabel. You're gonna need all the experience of the OC, Josh McDaniel, and that's the difference this season between this season and last season. You had a rookie quarterback in Drake May and a rookie head coach in Gerard Mayo. So it was a big-time learning curve, and the offensive coordinator, forget who that was, but you have a complete overhaul of the coaching staff, and you bring in a respected, veteran head coach who knows what he's doing, been to the playoffs, has done it before, Josh McDaniels, an offensive, really good play caller. And the results have borne out. Has he been a great head coach? No. He's been a fantastic offensive coordinator, which is why I've always said some guys are just better at being an offensive coordinator or a defensive coordinator than they are at being a head coach. It just is what it is. It's a completely different skill set, completely different job. If you can do both, great. If you can't, cool. But there hasn't been many who can do both at a high, successful level.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about that in the past when it comes to different coordinators and different guys who have become head coaches and have failed, and then they go in and become. But I point out guys like Brian Flores who struggled as a head coach.
Yeah.
But you look at him as a coordinator, and he's been very, very good.
Yeah.
You look at a guy like Jonathan Gannon, who is struggling right now as a head coach, but you saw what he did with the Eagles defense. Going into the Super Bowl situation, he goes out and wins the Super Bowl with the Eagles. Their defense was this vaunted, this Super Bowl defense here.
Right.
That was just incredible.
Raheem Morris going the other way.
Yeah.
In the opposite direction.
Yeah. It's just
Ben Johnson going, having a better, really good career so far as a head coach. So
yeah, he has. Moving into and also just some quick news here.
keep your shirt on.
Some quick news just to throw this out there. The NFL has decided they're going to mandate new playing surfaces in all stadiums by 2028 to enhance player safety. So
We're gonna play on. Hello.
the turf monster that seems to be tearing all the ACLs over there in New York, they're going to have one proper surface across the board that won't be doing that, I guess, because they've had so many injuries when it comes to torn ACLs and stuff with places like the New York football stadium there over there in
MetLife Stadium.
Yeah, in MetLife. So they've been having that problem with a few places that have had questionable playing surfaces. So all teams are going to wind up going to the same playing surface by 2028. And that includes several of the teams that are going to be winding up building new stadiums. For example, Chicago is talking about building a new stadium. Cleveland's talking about building a new stadium. Washington right now is talking about moving back to the old RFK site. So we're going to see some new stadiums getting erected around here. So we're going to wind up, with the new playing field.
I got an idea. How about you just play on grass? Like God intended it to be.
Yeah. Jumping into the playoff picture before we go into the rookie rankings, as it currently stands, the playoff picture, the Patriots are the 1 seed. We just got done talking about them. Broncos sitting at the 2 seed in the AFC with a 10-2 record. The Jags right now, they're leading the AFC South. They're 8-4. They're the 3 seed. The Ravens right now technically are the 4 seed. They're 6-6. The Chargers 8-4. They're the 5 seed. They're in second place in the AFC West. Number 6 is the Colts right now, but that could change pretty rapidly right now. They're 8-4. They're the 6th seed, the 7th seed right now, which I ever think I would say would be the Buffalo Bills. They're the 7th seed. They're 8-4. They're second in the AFC East behind the Patriots. On the bubble, the 8th seed is the Texans. The 9th seed is the Steelers. The Chiefs are the 10 seed at 6-6. The Dolphins 5-7. The Bengals are 4-8. They're the 12 seed. The Jets are the 13 seed. They're 3-9. Technically, they are still in the hunt. And the Browns are 3-9. They're still in the hunt. The Raiders and Titans on the AFC side have been eliminated. As for the NFC, the Bears, they're the 1 seed right now at 9-3. Right behind them is the Rams. They're 9-3. They're first in the NFC West. They're the 2 seed. The 3 seed is the Eagles. They're 8-4. They're first in the NFC East. And the 4 seed is the Bucks. They're winning their division right now. They're 7-5. They're first in the NFC South. In the 5 seed is the Seahawks. They're 9-3. The 6 seed is the Packers at 8-3-1. And the 7 seed is the 49ers at 9-4. By the way, I just want to point out the Rams are the 2 seed right now, and they're 9-3. But the Niners quietly right now are battling with them for this division, and I don't know how. I mean, outside of the fact that the Niners have one of the easiest schedules in all of football.
They've been winning games.
Yep. The Lions right now sitting on the outside looking in. They're the 8 seed at 7-5. They're third in the NFC North. The Cowboys are the 9 seed. They're second in the NFC East. They're 6-5-1. Panthers are the 10 seed. Falcons are the 11 seed. Vikings are the 12 seed. The Commanders are the 14th seed. But the Cardinals have been ruled mathematically eliminated because of their division standing. They're 3-9. They're fourth in the NFC West. The Saints and Giants have also been eliminated. They're both them. Saints are 2-10. Giants are 2-11. So we will not see any of those teams in the playoffs. But clinching the playoff spots is going to happen sooner rather than later.
It's going to be some butthole clinching.
Yeah, that's it. So that's our current NFL playoff picture as it currently stands. Jumping over to our buddies at Tankathon. And Alex, you brought, we love good old Tankathon. We're big fans of them. Tankathon right now, as it currently stands with our draft order, right now we have the Tennessee Titans sitting at 1-11. They are currently, at
the rate they're playing right now, they may very well secure the number one spot in the draft. But there's plenty of football left to be played, and we saw the New York Giants jump from like the top 2 or 3 seed to like the top 3 in the draft to like top 9 in the draft because they decided to win a couple of football games. So.
Right now, the Giants are the 2. I mean, that could change. Obviously, we got 5 more games to go. But right now, Tennessee and New York are the top 2 picks. I mean, and then New Orleans at 3 and Vegas at 4. I don't think any of us are surprised by the top 4 picks in this.
I think we called before the season started that these were 4 teams that were going to be facing some big time problems, and drafting Tyler IYKYK. That's one of those problems.
The Cleveland Browns right now are the 5 spot. They're sitting at 3-9. So, again, another one we're not surprised by. A little surprised by the 6th one, the Washington Commanders. We didn't expect them to have all these injury issues and all the problems that they're having. But right now, the Washington Commanders are the 6th pick. Right now, the 7th pick is the New York Jets. 8, which we're not surprised by the Jets. But we sort of expected them to be a little higher in the draft order. We expected them to be closer to the top 5. And then also the Arizona Cardinals, here we are, they're picking 8. And that's kind of where they've been for the last couple of years. The 9 spot, the Atlanta Falcons. So the Falcons, they're technically the 9 spot, but it's actually the Rams. The Rams own that draft pick because the Falcons traded back into the first round last year to get that 2nd edge rusher. So here's the Atlanta Falcons sitting with the 9th pick. The 10th pick right now, Cincinnati Bengals. They, sort of a surprise, kind of.
we kind of expected them to be a little bit lower, especially after Joe Burrow got hurt. When Joe Burrow got hurt and you're putting in Jake Browning at quarterback, and then they go and get Joe Flacco, and things were like, hit or miss there. It's kind of been like the death of taxes and Joe Burrow getting hurt, in the first half of the season. It's happened so many times that it's like, it's almost inevitable. But, they're hanging in there, and for some crazy reason, they're also in the hunt for the playoffs, which, if they had any sense, they'd just sit Joe Burrow and either put Flacco or Browning back out there and just get us through the rest of the season so we can get some decent, draft capital here.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think there's any way they're making the playoffs. Same with the Minnesota Vikings. They're at 11 right now. I could see the Vikings, if they continue this trajectory, you're going to see them in the probably top 7, 6. You might even see them hit top 5. This is just that bad at this point. You got the Miami Dolphins at 12. They're at 5-7 right now. The Kansas City Chiefs, they are 6-6. They're picking at 13. The Steelers picking at 14. They're 6-6. The Panthers right now picking at 15, 7-6. The Cowboys are 6-5-1. They're picking at 16. The Lions are picking at 17 at 7-5, and then Houston at 7-5. They're picking 18. And then obviously the playoff get decided by when teams get eliminated. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, well, it's going to get interesting. But the draft order right now, as it currently stands, Tennessee owns that number 1 pick. So we'll see how things continue. Moving into our rookie rankings, though.
Oh, getting extra draft picks. Somebody come on up and get this thing.
Yeah, they already have their quarterback of the future. They drafted him 1 overall. So I mean, you're going to want to develop them.
Yeah.
So at that point, you better go and trade down, get some extra draft capital. You know,
some offensive linemen.
how about the Rams? Rams got 2 first-rounders for this year.
Yeah.
Go ahead and come up, get your quarterback of the future.
Yeah.
I'm Matt Stafford. That might be the move.
Yeah.
Next up, let's talk about our rookie rankings. Honorable mentions for the week: Nick Emenwari, the safety for the Seattle Seahawks out of South Carolina. Carson Schlesinger, he fell off the list a couple weeks ago. He's still sitting in that honorable mention range. He's on the bubble. Mitch Evans, the tight end for the Carolina Panthers, for the Carolina Panthers out of Notre Dame, and Jackson Hawes, the tight end for the Buffalo Bills out of Georgia Tech. Sneaking his way back onto the list. Oh, what are we doing here? Sneaking his way back onto the list.
Hold on. I gotta say something.
What's that?
I'm not being a dick
Oh boy.
when I ask this.
Okay.
Do you know who the AFC offensive rookies of the month are?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
Not off the top of my head.
Now this, I just learned this 3 hours ago, so I'm
Yeah.
not like, oh, no,
Yeah,
no.
Yeah.
No. Defensive rookie of the month for the AFC,
Mhm.
Carson Schlesinger.
Yeah.
Offensive rookie of the month for the AFC,
Mhm.
Bootleg B team stand up, Travion Henderson.
TreVeyon Henderson. Yeah. And here's the thing about TreVeyon Henderson. He has, I'll say he's had hit or miss moments where there's a game where he blows up for like 100 yards or 120 yards and looks great. And then there's a game where he goes for 35 yards.
Some of those games where Mondre Stevenson is getting the
Yeah,
run,
exactly.
right? And Mike Vrabel, I don't know, what are you doing, coach?
I don't understand why he doesn't run TreVeyon Henderson more.
Right.
And that's where I'm at on that. And that's why TreVeyon Henderson has been battling for the list here. And then also for the defensive player, Carson Schlesinger, he had like last 2 weeks ago, had himself a really phenomenal game. 10 tackles. I mean, he had an interception. I mean, and then, but if you look at the performance from Carson Schlesinger over the course of the last, especially, he started out hot. For about the first 5-6 weeks, Carson Schlesinger was on fire. If you recall, he was sitting at about 3 or 4 on this list. For the last 5 weeks, though, Carson Schlesinger I think he's got like 8 missed tackles. He's struggled. He's getting picked on by quarterbacks. Giving up a ton of passes. I mean, I'm surprised that he's considered the AFC Defensive Player of the month right now.
Yeah,
to
rookie.
be honest with you.
Yeah.
Surprised by that, given the fact that he's struggled over the course of the last couple of games. And I could pull that up if you want. But right now, number 10, sneaking back onto the list, had a bounce-back game, Quinshon Judkins, the running back for the Cleveland Browns out of Ohio State. 70.8 PFF grade, 70.4 rushing, 67.8 receiving. He rebounded against San Francisco. He had a rough few weeks, and then he had 23 carries for 91 yards, 3 receptions for 18, over 100 yards for scrimmage. Currently, he ranks 10th in rushing touchdowns with 7, 15th in rushing yards with 758. So we'll see how long he can string together some games. But Quinshon Judkins, we were high on him coming out of the draft. He's sort of been, and I think teams, because of the quarterback situation that's been going on in Cleveland for a while, teams have just kind of said, well, shit, I'm just going to go ahead and cue in on the run game and force some of these young quarterbacks to throw the football. And that's kind of what they've been doing, because Judkins, for a hot minute there, was gashing a lot of teams early on in the season and has since slowed down a little bit.
Yeah.
So little surprised to see the drop-off, but this game against San Francisco, he came alive, and it worked out for him. Number 9, the tight end for the Chicago Bears is Colston Loveland out of Michigan, 75.6 PFF grade, 76.9 receiving. He caught 3 passes on 6 targets for 28 yards in Week 13 versus the Eagles. In spite of the down day, though, he's been targeted 26 times in November. He caught 20 receptions for 290 yards, secured 3 touchdown passes in the last 4 contests. Moved the chains 12 times. He also recorded 6 plays of 15-plus yards. He led the position in passer rating when targeted with 151.1, and he ranked 6th in PFF receiving grade with an 80.8 at the position. So Colston Loveland, especially recently, in the last 4 games, he's come alive. Had a down game in the last one, but still, He's been quite good, and he's got a good run blocking grade too. His run blocking grades are through the roof. So, and what did he do in Michigan?
They run the football.
Yeah,
You can't play for Harbaugh if you don't block.
yeah, exactly. Especially run block, especially for him. Number 8, this guy is interesting, and he kind of came out of nowhere, but he's been hot lately, is Tyler Booker, the guard for the Dallas Cowboys out of Alabama, 72.4 PFF grade, a 79.1 run blocking grade, 61.7 pass blocking. He had a 98.7 pass block efficiency rating against the Chiefs on Thanksgiving and an 80 run blocking grade. Per Pro Football Focus, the 12th overall pick from Alabama is PFF's 8th ranked right guard heading into Week 14. His strength has been in run blocking, where he boasts the 5th best impact rate at the position with an 18.9% and the lowest defeated rate among rookie guards with a 14.9%. As a pass blocker, he surrendered 16 pressures at a rate of 4.2%. He's been charged with 1 sack, 5 hits. It's got a 61.7 PFF pass blocking grade, but in spite of that, his run blocking grades are insane right now. And Dallas Cowboys, they've been running the ball quite well with Javonte Williams this year. And you got to see what Malik Davis could do as well in that last game. So the Cowboys, they may have a gem there in Tyler Booker if he can figure out the pass blocking situation. But he did have a good pass blocking grade against Kansas City this last week, which is interesting given the fact that he's across from Chris Jones. So interesting to think about. Number 7, IYKYK, the wide receiver for the Tampa Bay Bucks out of Ohio State, 69.5 PFF grade, 70.2 receiving grade. He recorded just 3 catches on 9 targets for 35 yards. At the position, he currently ranks 8th in receiving touchdowns with 6. He's 12th in receiving yards with 791. He's just having a stretch of bad weeks here. He's been hyper-targeted, but has been blanketed. The only reason he hasn't fallen down the list is because of all the movement underneath him from bad performances and so on and so forth. Otherwise, he would have probably dropped down this list. We've had kind of a revolving door near the bottom of the list between 8, 9, and 10 here. So I want to see if we can get a player that will actually take Igbokwe down the list, or if Igbokwe is going to rise back to the levels he was earlier on this year. Right. But the last 5 games have been rough for him.
Rookie wall.
Yep. Number 6, Will Campbell. He falls down this list 2 spots. He didn't play in Week 13 due to that injury we talked about last week, but he's the offensive tackle for the New England Patriots out of LSU. 71.4 PFF grade, a 75 pass blocking grade, 67.6 run blocking. He falls down behind number 5, Jalen Walker, the edge rusher for the Atlanta Falcons out of Georgia. He's got a 74.4 PFF grade, a 70.3 pass rush, 77.8 run defense. He had a tackle and run defense, 3 pressures in the pass rush game. He had a 72.7 grade for the day. Per Pro Football Focus, the 15th overall pick ranks 7th in PFF run defense grade with a 77.8 entering the final month of the season. His 85 PFF run defense mark in November ranks 2nd among all edge defenders behind only the Cowboys. Donovan Ezeraku, who we'll be talking about momentarily here, he had 88.8. Walker has 12 tackles with 5 stops in run defense and is generating an 18.7% positively graded play rate compared to a 4.9% negatively graded play rate. He also maintains a 70.3 PFF pass rush grade, and he now has 21 pressures at a rate of 11.8%, including 5 sacks and 3 hits. Jalen Walker has come out of nowhere for the Falcons here. He was one of their first-round picks. Mm-hmm. They came back up to get Pierce, and here we are. Yeah, you all right there?
That's you.
But they came out of nowhere. They got Pierce. They got Walker. The combination of the two has been lethal for Atlanta, and Walker has been a huge part of that. Number 4, we just got done talking about Donovan Ezeraku, the edge and outside linebacker for the Dallas Cowboys out of Boston College, an 81.2 PFF grade, a 70.9 pass rush grade, 69.6 run defense grade. He finished the week as the Cowboys' 2nd highest graded defender. He had awful pass rush grades. The last 2 weeks we were talking about it, but he turned it around this week with 5 pressures. He had the 6th highest pass rush win rate in the league. The Boston College product ranks 2nd among edge defenders in run defense grade with a 69.9. in PFF pass rush grade with a 70.9. He's got a 13.7% pass rush win rate. He leads the class, and he places in the top 10 at the position in quarterback hits with 11. Currently, he's also pacing all edge rushers in run defense grade for the month of November. He had the 88.8. He had 3 stops on the season at a rate of 8.3%, both first among rookies. And he's also generating a 20.4% positive play rate and a 9.6% negative play rate as a run defender. Izaraka exploded about 5 weeks ago, and he's been steadily climbing this list.
Yep, he had 13. He has 13 stops on the season. You mentioned 3, but 13 stops is a very impressive statistic there.
I don't know why I said. Oh, he probably had a typo there. Yeah, he's 13 stops. That's what did I say 3?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I meant 13. I do have 13 on my notes, but
that's 13. Fine. That's all good though. But that's even better news.
Yes.
You know, the kid's a stud. He's an absolute stud.
We were a little surprised by the pick, but he's been tremendous for them. Donovan Izaraka has.
Yeah, run stopper.
Yeah,
but he's been able to get to the quarterback, or at least get around the quarterback and affect the quarterback.
Yep. Number 3, Ted McMillan sits tight at number 3, the wide receiver for the Carolina Panthers out of the University of Arizona, 77.8 PFF grade, 77.9 receiving. He just had 1 catch on 2 targets versus the tough Rams defense, but it still went for 43 yards and a touchdown, so he sort of salvaged the day. Per Pro Football Focus, the 8th overall pick has struggled in his last 2 games, earning a 55.8 PFF receiving grade, which is a bottom 15 mark. He's caught only 3 of 10 targets for 78 yards, and while he's notched 2 touchdown passes, he also had 2 drops. He's still enjoying a great rookie season, placing in the top 10 at the position in receiving yards with 826, touchdowns with 6, and first downs with 46, and plays of 20-plus yards at 14 as well. He has 57 catches and 25 explosive gains this year, along with an average of 4.1 yards per after the catch per reception. Tedro McMillan, we liked him coming out of college. He gets picked up 8th overall. He's been phenomenal for the Carolina Panthers so far this year.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep. Number 2, a guy that's been on a hot streak, but he actually had a really rough one this last week, was Armand Membu, the offensive tackle for the Jets out of Missouri. This is the first bad week he's had in a hot minute. 72.2 PFF grade, 71.6 pass blocking, 73.5 run blocking. He had an extremely rough week against that Falcons pass rush. We just got done talking about Jalen Walker. He's a reason why. He posted a 54.1 PFF grade, giving up 2 sacks. Per Pro Football Focus, though, despite the rough outing, Membu still had a strong month, tallying a 71.1 PFF overall grade in November. He enters December with the 3rd best PFF pass blocking grade among rookie tackles with a 71.6, along with the rookie best 73.5 PFF run blocking grade as well. So he's dominating the offensive tackle position at the run in the rookies scale there, and I think he's a stud. He's been positioned at their right tackle position. Surprised that they haven't moved him to left, but I mean he's probably going to be their stud right tackle.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's his strength.
Yep. And then last but not least, number 1, Tyler Warren, the tight end for the Indianapolis Colts out of Penn State. He sits tight at number 1. 71 PFF grade, 74.7 receiving, just 3 catches for 22 yards, but he did get a touchdown against a tough Texans defense. Played through an illness, though, when he was doing this. Currently ranks 5th in receptions with 58, 3rd in receiving yards with 684, and 11th in touchdowns with 4 at the position. Tyler Warren's been a revelation for the Indianapolis Colts. He's been one of the only things that's keeping Daniel Jones afloat right now as he runs through his slump and the injured fibula there.
Yep, and and he's playing through with that illness. Like I talked to you offline about it. He's a dog. He's an absolute dog.
Right.
And that you need that type of player. We talk about it all the time. Availability and reliability. It's why Will Campbell fell those 2 spots because he got hurt. And that's the unfortunate reality. Not just here on this show, but in the league. the league is a very much, what have you done for me lately business. As bad as that is to say, I mean, it's true. And
it's worth mentioning, not only it's what have you done for me lately type of league, in the fact that if you look at Jihad Campbell and where you notice him, he's not even on the list anymore. Didn't play a snap last week.
Yeah,
so,
where'd he go? You got to put him on the milk carton.
He's been ceding snaps to his teammate, Kobe Dean, and he's basically lost his starting job that he had to start the season. Which, I mean,
well, the Kobe Dean was injured, and to start the year.
Yeah,
and Kobe Dean is the incumbent and has been pretty good. But
you picked the guy up first round, right?
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing about it. So, moving into our picks for the week, I'm shooting at 133, 60 and 1. Alex is at 115, 78 and 1, and Boots is at 110, 83 and 1. I have a commanding lead right now, 18 ahead of Alex. But we still have 5 weeks left to go. We have seen crazier things happen in the picks department. If you recall, last year Boots came roaring back from last place to damn near beat me last year. It was really close. It came down to the wire.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and jump into these.
I've been in and out of Bootsville.
You have been.
It's been a up and down, kind of a rough year. A lot of things going on around Bootsville. So not been so great, but my words always come back strong sometimes.
Yep.
And if you put wagers behind my words, you still up.
Yep. And if you look at the picks from this year, they've been weeks for you where you've had only missed one, only missed two, and then there's some weeks like this week where you went 7 and 9. It's been very up and down.
It has been, and that's why I'm not going to be making the picks this week.
You're not making the picks?
No. I had to call in the ring.
Yeah. Oh, did you?
Yeah, I did.
Oh boy. Did you call Miss Berlin?
Well, Miss Berlin sent somebody to me.
Oh boy.
From the old pool hall.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Here we go. Well, folks, let's jump into these picks. Here are our predictions.
Spoilers.
For week 14 in the NFL, starting out with the Cowboys and the Lions Thursday night football. The Lions get back-to-back Thursday night games, as do the Cowboys. Look, I think the Cowboys are hot right here. I think the Lions are in a bad way. The Cowboys have a really great interior pass rush. Go ahead and give me the Cowboys.
Now, here's the deal. I said last week was make or break for the season, and they broke. And it may very well be too little too late for this team. Now, the good, it hurts my heart to say this as a Lions fan, but at the same time, the New York Giants game was a catalyst. The Packers game on Thanksgiving was the backbreaker, and this is the Cowboys coming in for scraps. I mean, Detroit cannot afford to lose 2 games in a row because they haven't done so since 2022. They've had a 3-year streak since, not losing back-to-back games. It hurts me to say this. And if you're playing the home game, as of this speech right here, it's the second quarter and the Lions are up 10-3 right now. But if I'm on the outside looking in, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I have to go with the Dallas Cowboys in this one. I just have to.
I'm sorry. I won't be succeeding my picks this week to Mr. Melvin Mumbles.
Melvin Mumble.
Melvin? Yeah, boy. Come on over here.
Oh, hey. How you doing, Melvin?
What's your name, that boy?
Scott.
Got it. What the other name, boy?
Hey, my name.
No, the other boy there.
Oh. The other boy there is Cannonball.
No,
Huh?
What do you want, the Cowboys or the Lions?
Oh, Detroit. Shit.
Oh, he's taking the Lions there. Next up, let's talk about Titans and Browns. Give me the Brownies. I think the Titans are a disaster.
Yeah, give me the Browns as well. I mean, this is a turd sandwich and a douche canoe here.
Yep. Mr. Mumbles.
Shit, what? Cleveland.
Yeah, Browns all day. Next up, Seahawks and the Falcons. Seahawks, I don't think it's I think this one's a no-brainer. Seahawks are red hot. Give me the Seahawks.
I have to agree, although it's going to be a lot closer than you think, and it's the Falcons at home. So, their defense has been pretty stout, but Seahawks are the better team. And it is West Coast going to East Coast for a 1 o'clock kick. So I'm gonna take the Seahawks, but it's gonna be close.
Mr. Mumble.
Boy, I remember that time I went down there. Give me a lamp.
Give me a wow.
Wait a minute. He said what? I can't believe it.
Yeah, I can kind of understand it. Anyway, let's talk about the Colts. Yeah. Let's talk about the Colts and the Jags. Look, I think the Colts are slumping. I think the Jags are slumping. But I have some strange feeling that the Jaguars got their number here. Give me the Jaguars.
Not so fast, my friend. Now, you're right. Both teams are slumping. Both teams really need this win to kind of get back into the thick of things. And if we play, the schedule game with the Indianapolis Colts, they've already faced the Jaguars. No, this is their first matchup against the Jaguars, and they're in Jacksonville, and then they're going to close out the season. I'm gonna take the Indianapolis Colts. I really think that this is a wake up call. It's like, hey, this is back half of the season, and they're nipping at our heels to get this division. Let's stop that from happening.
Melvin, what do you got?
Man, I remember that time I went down right earlier. She had about the bun and idea.
Yeah.
Give me Jacksonville.
Jacksonville, the Jags. Next up, let's go ahead and talk about the Commanders and the Vikings. Jaden Daniels probably coming back. This Vikings team's a disaster. No offense. Give me the Commanders.
I have to agree with you. I mean, unless they find lightning in a bottle, the offense isn't going to be able to keep up. Give me the Commanders.
Bubbles.
That defense, you all been all of them.
Yeah.
Minnesota.
Wow, look at you. Mr. Mumbles here making some interesting picks for Boots. Next up, let's talk about the Bengals and the Bills. Joe Burrow doing interesting stuff. Winning games he probably shouldn't be winning. Look, I think the Bills are still extremely dangerous. Give me Buffalo.
Back in the day, this would have been a marquee matchup. Now it's a 1 o'clock game. And it's in Buffalo. So give me the Bills.
Mumbles?
But you were all he had what they had to go with. Yeah. She. Bill.
I think that's a no-brainer. Next up, let's talk about the Saints and the Bucks. Look, the Saints are bad. The Bucks are going to be coming back to full strength. They've been winning games in spite of not being full strength. Give me the Bucks.
Same here. I mean, it's the better team at home, and it's the Saints. So even though it's a division game and division games hit different, this one not so much. Give me the Buccaneers.
Yep. No.
You think a lot of whole time, but they all got to go.
Yeah. Yeah, they all got to go.
Buccaneers.
Bucks all day. Next up, give me the Steelers and the Ravens. The Steelers are falling apart right now. The Ravens, they've been winning games. They lost a tough one against Cincinnati. They got field goal to death. Something tells me the Ravens are going to get right here and beat the brakes off the Steelers. Give me the Ravens.
Not so fast, my friend. You know, something just tells me that this AFC North rivalry is just going to open yet another chapter. And Mike Tomlin is going to hang an early W over their hated division rivals. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And Melvin, we know how much Boots loves the Steele.
I don't care about it. Shit, Baltimore.
I love it. Next up, Dolphins and Jets. Look, the Dolphins have been winning weird games here. Something tells me they're going to just kind of keep doing it. Give me the Dolphins.
I disagree. I disagree only because it's, you know, this is a toss-up. I'm going to say the Jets, although, I mean, this is one of the worst teams in football, two of the worst teams in football. And, you know, Dolphins got to go in the cold at MetLife Stadium, so there's that too. But I'll take the Jets.
Tell me.
It took one more final, but you never had one. Right?
Right?
Yes.
Jets.
That's what I said.
The cheese stands alone. Next up, Broncos and Raiders. I think the Raiders are terrible. I think the Broncos are good. Give me the Broncos.
Yeah, this is no-brainer. Give me the Broncos.
No?
Boy, but you don't have the tail on the side. And you ain't never had the one on the foot.
Not on the foot, no.
No. Give me the Broncos.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Maybe on my left hand, but that's about it.
Next up, Rams and Cardinals.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Rams all day. This isn't a question.
I mean, it's a division game, but Cardinals are on their last legs. Give me the Rams.
Melvin?
I'm going to put you all on the stuff that you ain't never had one. They were all over.
All of them?
There they go.
Yeah.
I don't want to get it. Rams.
Yeah, I agree with you. Next up, Bears and Packers. You know, I'm going to go ahead and this is interesting. It's in Lambeau. This is going to be a lot tougher than a lot of people think. I think the Packers are the toughest defense that the Bears have played all year. It's going to be a wild one. Give me the Bears here. I think the Bears are going to pull this one out. That's going to be my upset special of the week.
It's a pretty good call. You know, it's one of the oldest rivalries in football. You know, they call it the black and blue division for a reason. You know, you're right, though. It's the better defense at home, but Chicago's defense is none to sniff at either. I'm going to go with the Packers, but I would not be surprised to see the Bears pull this off.
Me neither. Melvin.
See, this is one of those games where the Green Bay Packers have to answer the bell. They have not turned the ball over nearly as much, but the Bears rank first in turnover differential, and they have an opportunity to really take hold of this division. Yeah, they're the number one seed, and they've got all of these things lined up for them. But the Green Bay Packers present a completely different set of problems for the Bears that they have not had to contend with over the course of the season. So with all that being said,
boy, Packers.
That was very well spoken. No.
I think Boots snuck in the back door and then Melvin ran him over, but who knows? But anyway.
And next up, Texans and Chiefs. Look, I think the Texans are hot. I think the Chiefs are not. Go ahead and give me the Texans here. I'm going with them to dash the hopes of the Chiefs.
You know, I can see it happening, but I can see the Texans have a chance. I don't see the Texans beating the Chiefs at Arrowhead, especially if it's under the bright lights and it's Sunday night football. Give me the Chiefs, but I'm telling you this. If the Chiefs drop this game, you know, people might be getting off the bandwagon.
Yeah, I think it's over at that point. Melvin, what do you got?
this is the Chiefs' final stand. They cannot afford to lose this game nor any other game the rest of the season.
I agree.
They know this. We know this. It sucks that their offensive tackle, Josh Simmons, not going to play in this game, and you're going to need him with that defensive line.
Yep.
That Houston carries, the entire defense especially. But when the chips are down and you need a play, there's no player in the NFL I would rather have, and you need a game. There was no player in the NFL that I would rather have than Patrick Mahomes the second. So with that being said, boy, you all the cheese.
And then last but not least,
I hear it loud and clear.
Eagles and Chargers. Hey, the Eagles are slumping. The Chargers are in all kinds of trouble with this, this hand issue from Justin Herbert. This gets interesting. I'm actually going to say, give me the Chargers here. I think we're going to see an upset special in all three of those big time games, those three late games. I think we're going to see the Packers get beat by the Bears. I think you see the Texans get beat by the Chiefs. I think you see the Eagles get beat by the Chargers. I think that's where we're headed. Give me the upset. Give me the Chargers.
And, I'm going to go ahead and go right there with you. And here's why. Philadelphia has to go East Coast to West Coast. It's a late kick, and it's Monday night, but, they have to go on the road, and the Chargers defense is nothing to sniff at. Here's the deal. If they can figure out how to give Saquon Barkley the football and allow Saquon Barkley to be, Saquon Barkley, they got a shot. But if we continue to see these tepid performances from one of last year's most outstanding running backs, probably RB1 all year last year, if he continue, he was RB1. If he does not perform this Monday night game, we can start to see the decline of the Eagles franchise for this season. Go ahead and give me the Chargers.
Melvin?
Well, I remember that thing everybody with all of what she put out there. Dang, boy, and I had to get the because it was only one time because I had to get the other thing. You know what I'm saying?
I know it.
Shit. We fly high.
Going with the Eagles. And those are our predictions for week 14 in the NFL.
Thank you, Mr. Mumbles.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mumbles. I appreciate that. And fellas, that is our show for this week. We got Thanksgiving in the books. We've got the week 14 predictions out here, so we're good to go there. And
we gotta go. We gotta go.
Yeah.
We gotta go. We gotta go.
We've got playoffs around the corner here, fellas. It's lurking. We're 5 weeks away,
Like a flash.
and look, I'm very excited about that. We've got a game currently going on between the Cowboys and the Lions right now, so we're going to jump into watching that after we get off the air here. But that's going to be a fun one to finish up watching. Also, just so everybody does know, just a reminder, we're going to be jumping into our rookie rankings for our prospect rankings for the NFL draft. So we're going to be going with our position rankings. We'll be jumping into those in the next couple of weeks. So I'm excited for that. We've got Alex, you and I know Boots, you've been talking about going down there as well. I hope we get to see you out there at the NFL Combine. You're going to be joining us for that.
They do too.
Yeah. So the NFL Combine, we're going to be jumping out to Indianapolis there for that. Very excited. Yeah. And we're going to be doing a little recording out there. We're going to be recording some episodes while we're out there. Probably in the morning before the show, we're going to talk about each day's prospects. So we're excited for that stuff. So I'm going to take this whole rig and just take it right out there. So that's going to be fun. We're excited. It's going to be a great time. But folks, before we get out of here, let's go ahead and talk about some of our sponsors. First of all, It's Your Time Massage. Amanda's a wonderful massage therapist, the absolute best in the Metro Detroit area. You can check her out at IYKYK.com, or you can check her out at It's Your Time Massage LLC on Facebook. You can get yourself a deep tissue massage, Swedish massage. You can get yourself CBD oil for a little bit extra. You can go ahead and get red light therapy, foot sugar scrubs. She's going to take good care of you over here at It's Your Time Massage. Check it out. Once again, IYTmassage.com, or you can find her at It's Your Time Massage LLC on Facebook. Put yourself an appointment. And remember, folks, it's your time. Also, let's talk about Patch Miracle Photography. Andrew Langland, his wonderful wife, Chantel, they're doing amazing work over there with Patch Miracle Photography. They are the best of the best. If you're looking for anything when it comes to graduation pictures,
What?
baby photos,
What?
birthday pictures,
What?
engagement photos,
What?
wedding pictures,
What? Christmas pictures. What?
Christmas pictures with Santa Claus. If you're looking to do that special sexy boudoir shoot with that special someone in your life,
All right.
check it out, patchmiraclephotography.com. They are the best at what they do, the best photographers in the Metro Detroit area. They made me look like a movie star on my wedding night.
Martin Mull.
It just keeps getting worse.
I would have said Humphrey Bogart.
Yeah, I don't know. Lassie was a pretty good one.
I don't think we're going to top Lassie.
But patchmiraclephotography.com. Check them out. They're awesome at what they do. Also, let's talk about Face Cake Apparel. Sean Stockmeyer, his wonderful wife Lisa, they're doing amazing work all over there for your custom hats, hoodies, and T-shirts. You name it, you pick it. They stick it over there at facekickapparel.com. And boots, as per the norm.
Get your face kicked in with savings.
Absolutely. Also, let's go ahead and talk about the artist formerly known as Big Willie Dubs Gaming, now known as No Shot Bot TTV. Will doing amazing work over there. He does a lot of first-person shooters over there. His first-person shooter stuff is awesome. You can check him out. No Shot Bot TTV. You can find it on Twitch. You can find it on Facebook. You can find it on the TikTok. There's my old man moment for the day, and you can check out No Shot Bot TTV. Also, Alex, let's go ahead and talk about what's going on at Steel Twins Gaming and Steel Twins Andy.
Yep, absolutely. So if you're looking for two entertaining young men who want to give you the best of the best, I'm jumping all over the place with these links and trying to get the right stuff on the page here. But the deal here is that, I have the current page I have up is our playlists. Now, obviously, I've been saving our Outside Blitz live stream. So if you ever wanted to catch a moment where you see your favorite podcasters' faces, you got that. Plus, you do have the flagship show, Voice Acting. We're in season 18. Paper Mario, the Origami King is in full swing. Those episodes are going to be a little bit more developed, more meaty. But I think we really think you'll enjoy the content there. All of our past seasons are on there too. And if you want more, check out Steel Twins Andy. He has a bunch of great series of his own. He has Nostalgic Monday, Nintendo Tuesdays, FPS Wednesday. He just started the Borderlands series not too long ago. Then you have Indie Thursdays. You have Open World Fridays, Random Saturdays where he just rolls the dice, throws a dart. Oh, we're going to do this today. And Metroid Prime Sundays as well, and Sunday nights is where you'll see the both of us for voice acting. And I think there's one more piece of business that we got to go to. Boots, why don't we talk about that?
Let's talk about books, Boots.
Oh, yeah, those things, those wonderful things. But this is one book that you need to get. This book is called I Ate Cookies Out of the Trash, written by Tammy Pruitt. You should have seen this female, this wonderful woman. She wrote this book her damn self. There was going to be a ghostwriter, but nah. It lacks the feel. It lacks personality. It lacks a heart. And that's what she poured into every single one of those pages. Heart, she poured in. She poured in her life, her suffering, her pain, and she put it on the page for you to read, but for you to identify with, for you to relate to, because that is the key to this book, relatability, because there's things that we all go through, anxiety, depression, some people going through weight issues, going through all sorts of things, but there are links in this book, there are subjects that she covers brilliantly, and with it's like you're talking to a friend of yours, but you're reading her pain, you're reading her humor, you're reading her thoughts in a way that most books do not give you, right? But this book right here, it gives you all of that because it is from a perspective that only she can speak from, her own perspective. And this life, you have to get this book because this book gives you some guidance, it gives you some love, it gives you humor, it gives you heart, it gives you paper cuts. If you flip through the pages too
quick.
fast,
Yes, it can
right?
do that.
And that can be difficult, but it's not difficult to get this book. All you got to do is go online, Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, AppleBooks.com. Just get on the little keyboard and tick-tack your heart away and search for this book anywhere. You can ask Jeeves if you want to. Netscape. All those. Ask your girl.
The fact that you're still asking Jeeves seems a little problematic.
Check it out on Prodigy. I'm sure that's still sticking around.
Right? But find out, just go to the search bar, search I Ate Cookies Out of the Trash. It'll pop right up. And then you order that book online because you can't walk into a store and buy it. No. You go online, you buy this thing. It is a wonderful Christmas gift if that's what you're looking for. Get this book, buy it, get it delivered, read it, relax, and enjoy yourself. You'll get the story of how the author became a trash cookie eater, but it's not. That sounds really bad.
Yeah.
But the fact that there's the story behind it, and there's a true author here.
And she's a scientist.
The woman has a master's degree in science.
Yeah, she's a science.
Yeah, so not only are you getting the perspective from someone who's lived their own struggles, you're also getting crucial information from someone who's learned about these things. So you not only will you come away with a warm heart, you'll also come away with a bigger brain.
Yep, it reads like a conversation.
But not a boring one, you heard me?
Yep, and so check it out. I Ate Cookies Out of the Trash by Tammy Pruitt. Wonderful book. You can get on all the .coms, BarnesandNoble.com.
Apple Books.
Apple Books. There we go. I was looking for that. AppleBooks.com. You can find it at all the .coms.
It's all on Amazon.
Yep, you can find it on Amazon. I found it on Amazon. So check it out. I Eat Cookies Out of the Trash by Tammy Pruitt. And fellas, that is our show.
Can I say one more thing?
Go ahead.
I would appreciate brethren, sistren, Blitz Babies, if you will. Take a listen. You have a talent. You have a gift. You have a passion. You deserve every single bit of success that comes with that talent, that gift, and that passion. Why would you listen to someone tell you that you can't do what you know you can do? Why would you listen to someone who tries to force you to do what they want you to do instead of you doing what you know you have the talent and the gift and the passion to do? Who are they to tell you not to do what you know you can do? Like the great Bun B once said, just because they funky ass couldn't do it, they ain't you. I'm talking to you. Do exactly what it is you need to do to make you happy. Don't do what somebody else says you can't do to make them happy. Do what you want to do. Do what you need to do. Do what you have a passion and a love and a gift for. There is always room for your gift, and you can earn a ton of success and money. You never know if you just pursue what it is you know what you want to do. And you know what you can do, what you have a passion for, a talent, and a gift. And don't let them tell you any different. You heard me?
And to paraphrase one Steve Harvey, everybody's got a gift. But first, in order to appreciate that gift, in order to be able to use your gift, you have to jump.
Yep,
if you don't jump, your parachute ain't going to open.
And folks, thank you so much for over here at the Outside Blitz. Give us a follow. Give us a rate. Preferably a 5-star. Give us a review. Check us out. You can check us out on Apple Podcasts. You can find us out. You can check us out on Odyssey. You can check us out over at anywhere you get your podcast. We're going to be moving over to Spotify in the next year. I'm super excited about that. New equipment on the way. New equipment, new computers. It's going to be exciting. We're going to be expanding this thing. We're going to get large and in charge. We're going to be over at the YouTube channel. Video will become a thing here. I'm excited for this situation. I'm excited to bring this podcast to you. I'm excited to be building this thing with you guys and this audience that we've built here because we get a lot of consistent listeners. We notice the numbers. We see you guys every week. So we're super excited about that. Thank you so much for listening. And folks, we'll see you next time right here on the Outside Blitz.
Yeah, change. I bet you listen again.
You probably talking about us because we're the only ones that talk about Joe.